And I'm live again, episode 13 of live coding, streaming with Dustin, whatever you want to call it, building this React app, building a desktop environment in the browser, building an OS in quotes, needs to be in quotes. Hey everybody, thanks for checking me out. Much appreciated, as always. Today's going to be a very casual episode as far as organization, being organized, in other words. My show notes are basically non-existent, my stream notes. So I tried to prepare before this. Actually, I did a lot of coding this week, so we're going to go through a lot, styling, that kind of thing. But as far as preparing my notes, I started trying to do the changes, and it's like, man, I've changed so much. So I think what we're going to go do this time, and maybe we'll even continue it in other episodes, is we're just going to look through my commits that I did throughout the week, and we're going to apply them to our branch and kind of just discuss them too. Because that's kind of what I do, and I've been like pretending in the background to just like have it all in my head instantly, but I think we'll have to look through it because the code takes a lot of tweaking, you know? And to kind of condense it into this couple hour format to show you all these little ideas, it's not something where if I just jump in the code, I'm going to be like, boom, boom, do this, do that, especially with the styling and stuff. Today, I'm going to show you a bit of some of my comparison styling stuff possibly, and show you like how I get into the detail of like, how is this exactly right, you know? And it's not perfect yet. We're not perfect. So, but let's just get into that. Let's get into how we're not perfect. No, not that. I want to jump into the browser here and get right into the episode 12 recap, basically, and just kind of, oops, yeah, there it is. And just let's just go over what we did last time. So the commit started here 7 days ago. That's how we usually do this. But did I do introductions? I don't know if I did introductions. I'm just lazy today. By the way, I'm Dustin Brett. Hi, programmer from Canada. Working on this. I said the React OS stuff. I just don't know if I said my name's Dustin and stuff. So there we go, introductions. So it's the one thing I do have in my notes is to do an introduction, and I skipped that, so I failed. So back to the episode 12 recap. We updated the README with an agenda, and I'm going to update it today as well with just a couple notes that I made throughout the week. That's another one where it's like really hard just on the spot to be like, oh, I'm going to make 100 notes for what I want to do, you know? So we're just going to kind of go over what notes I've made so far and add those to existing notes. And feel free to send me a message, by the way, in the chat. I'm just going to do pop-out chat here. There we go. Now I can see all the messages coming in, which isn't very many, unfortunately. But people leave nice comments and stuff and that kind of thing. But as far as live chat and stuff, I mean, maybe it's for the best. Perhaps I'm not interactive enough. That might be part of it. I need to be like, what do you guys want to do this? Or vote on that, maybe. But we're not doing voting at this stage, I guess. I don't have anything worth voting on. So NPM updates. I also still haven't fixed the fact that NPM update doesn't update my package.json file. Haven't really looked into that, so. Fix images being draggable. Yeah, that was nice. Extract clock logic. Yeah, just making more custom hooks. I'm going to keep doing that forever. Extract titlebar buttons into custom hook. Okay, more custom hooks. Account for taskbar height when maximized. Yeah, that's reasonable. Update position when updating size. Fair. Resize handle styles. Oh yeah, just some typing and stuff. Oh, a lot of this is refactor, and you can see a lot of styling here. I basically made the window look more like a Windows window. A Windows window, yeah. And I did more tweaking recently in regards to the nav and just everything as close as possible. And I think I'm probably just gonna just paste a bunch of it and be like, for this I went with this pixel, for this I went with this, and then I'll show you the result, and then we'll compare and we'll see like if there's more tweaking to be done, you know? Because that's how I've been doing it. Fixed maximize. I forgot it was broken, but okay, if I fixed it, great. Window goes behind taskbar. Yeah, you want it to go behind the taskbar. Added stream notes. Okay, cool. Let's take a peek at what we have now, by the way. So it's just on our localhost 3000. So this is what we have right now. Am I zoomed in at all? Yeah, I'm at 150%. If I zoom in, there's 100 right there. So yeah, it looks pretty small when I'm trying to share it to you guys. So I'm going to zoom in a bit, but the proportions are pretty decent. I've found. I wonder if I can give you guys an example of how close they are. This is where we can involve MS Paint too. So I'm gonna do this. This will be scary here. So I'm gonna do Windows key Shift S allows you to like do a snip cut of a screenshot. By the way, in case you guys were wondering, I've been using it a lot recently, but I've never used it while I'm running OBS and doing a live stream. So let's see if that just makes something blow up. I just want to take a screenshot. Okay, it doesn't let me go. Okay, everyone's still there. Everything's still okay. It looks like everything's fine. So hopefully I took a screenshot. So let's try to jump into MS Paint and I'll show you what I was talking about here. So paste that in. There we go. Cool. So you can see there, that's what I took a screenshot of. So that top one there is my bar, and the bottom one is my actual Windows bar right now. So the bottom one's Windows, the top one's mine. They're pretty darn close. Not perfect, unfortunately, but we'll get into that later. Actually, the size looks a bit more wrong there than it is. It's honestly, it's not wrong, so I don't know why it looks a little off there. We'll get into that, into the more detail of that at some point, but it looks better on my screen. Oh no, I closed MS Paint. I didn't want to do that. There we go. We'll keep MS Paint open, and we're gonna need that later, but let's go back into what we have with the app right now. So if we double click an icon, it opens a window. We can drag the window around. We got the effects there for hover and such. Am I zoomed in? I'm still zoomed a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it at this zoom level. It's easier to see for you guys. So we actually have a decent amount right now. I'm wondering how many things I tweaked. I can see there's a lot of opportunities to tweak some of the coloring and stuff. The lettering here looks a little inaccurate. I think I did a lot of work on the icon too. It actually doesn't look bad now as far as how close it is to a Windows 10 icon. But I think I did a little bit of figuring out as far as the transparency to try to get it a little better. Because this hover should look a little bit shaded like the highlight color. The same color that's on the bottom two lines here. But it's not, and also when you hover over here, the highlight color changes. It's a little subtle, so I don't want it to be so subtle. Minimize works, yeah. Maximize works, cool. Close, yeah. And now if I open it again, you see it opens here at the top. That's one thing we're gonna do today. That's on my title about session. One of the things I'm gonna do is at least between refreshes of the page, I'm gonna save it so it remembers where your windows are. And in the near future, we'll make that persistent throughout. If you refresh the page, it'll still remember where you put the windows. Because we have the data. I'm using it in a session. I'm just not saving it to a storage yet. And I think we'll probably save that to a file, one of those fake files that we're making with the browser FS. So, okay. So that's what we have right now. Not too bad. Let's see what we're going to add. So yeah, we've gone through what we did last time and then added the stream notes. And if we look at my notes here just to prove that I have no notes, there we go. That's what I want to do today. So yeah, we did the introduction. We went through the recap. We always do a little bit of refactoring and stuff. So I'll do the NPM updates, and then we're just going to start going through the commit history that I've got, and just kind of, I'll show you guys how I prepare my notes for a show. I didn't do it this time, but you guys can see how I do the notes typically when I make like my branches to prepare for the show, where I bake the cake beforehand, you know, so I can show it to you guys, so to speak. Figuratively, you know, no real cakes involved here, unfortunately. Sorry. So yeah, styling session, and then we'll talk about the next stream. So that's the plan. So let's just get right into the basic part, which is the NPM updates, because there's probably some. NPM outdated, that's what I usually run to check for updates. Okay, let's get this out of the way so we get a better look. Oh, React updated. Okay, cool. Sometimes I like to peek what the updates are for that. Like, so let's say we go React blog, I guess. React blog, what was it, 17.0.2? There we go, maybe. Blog. No. Well, in that case, we can click up here, maybe, and see the change log. That's another way to check it out. Looks pretty minor. Remove an unused dependency to address the shared array buffer. Yada, yada, yada. That's pretty minor. Fix a crash in IE7. Oh, okay, cool. That's relevant, probably. But I've had that for a while. So, geez, that's not much between updates there. All right. Maybe they're working on 18 or something like that. Because that's pretty minor. It looks like 17's done. How do you see their betas and stuff? Yeah, I don't know. Experimental. Ooh. All right. So nothing fancy there. Let's go back to our code. What were the other changes? Husky. Let me make this a little bigger. bunch of TypeScript stuff, pretty minor stuff. So let's not even attempt to do npm, or let's attempt it, but it's not going to work. npm update. It'll update the lock file, but that's not all I wanted to update. I wanted the package file to update too, so that I don't have to manually update each one of these versions. So we're going to use the NCU updater for that, but we'll have to go in and redo 3JS because we're still stuck with this version. Okay, so let's see, that didn't update. What did it update? Update nothing this time? There we go, the lock file, but that's not what I wanted. So NCU-U, we'll just update that. And that's going to update everything that we saw there listed. But we have to go in and revert the 3JS back to the version that I wanted, which was that version. And now we run npm I to make sure it installs all those updated dependencies, which it did. And we're good to go. So what are our updates there? Yeah, lots of nice little updates, keeping everything up to date. I like to do this. I like to stay as up to date as possible. Then you're on, like, you know, it's just good to stay up to date, honestly. That's what the fixes come in, you know? I mean, maybe my program's a little faster now because of that one little fix, you know? It was important enough for a version update. So anyways, npm updates. And we'll commit that. Done. There we go. So that's all we have for figured things out. So let's get into this commit history and I'll show you guys how I do it. So during the week, I kind of just been pushing things out to this redo-episode 13 because I have episode 13 coming up. Well, not coming up. I mean, now it's happening right now. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So what has changed here? So I basically just look through files changed. You see I just did 23 commits, but I don't do them as good throughout the week as to be formal with them because I'm messing with the code all the time, you know? Like this version of the code has changed like 20 times or something throughout the commits. So let's just get right into updating the notes. So I actually did this minimum width height thing. I added the note, but then I did this. So that's a really minor one. That might be even the first thing we'll do. Let's do that actually. We'll try to do that one as our first. Is that a... That's not really maintenance, housekeeping, or refactoring. That's totally styling. We'll make a note to do that anyways, because I already have the code for it. So, but these will just add to our to-do list, which was in the README. There it is. And where was that? That was in the focus behaviors. Yeah, basically I just wanted to make some notes about which focus behaviors I care about because I was looking at my old code and saw some that I had to specifically account for. So like the one where like on a window, if you click and hold right away, even though it was not the foreground window, there was an issue where drag wasn't working initially because it would first try to make it the foreground and focus on it. It was just being messy. So we'll probably have to deal with that. So I made a note for it. Same with iframes. If we do another iframe windows, for some reason when you click in the iframe, I mean, there's known reasons why, but when you click in an iframe, it doesn't focus the same way. So, but I made a solution to that and we'll have to possibly use that and maybe improve on it. We'll see. Make it a hook. I think it already was a hook, but I don't know. Oh, I didn't flip to the code, by the way. Sorry guys. So I opened the README and just put those two notes within the focus behaviors index history. So these are just me making some notes. I mean, this is just watching me code, guys. So don't expect too much, you know? I mean, this is part of coding, is updating READMEs, making notes, that kind of thing. I often do things like this just so that when I jump into the code right away, I have some ideas like what could I work on? You know, there's a million things. And I don't remember if I showed this, but I've also added minimum width and height to our styling show notes. So we are going to deal with that. And I'm not going to add it to the to-do list here, which yeah, it's a to-do list. It's not in to-do.md, it's in the README, but I just want to see it right away when I open the branch for now. So let's save that and go back into the browser here and see what the other things were that I changed. Add space between start. Oh, I think I just moved this. I have a whole styling here. Yeah, I have this section here. Styling could be more accurate. Yeah, here I've made some notes of things I didn't do yet. Some of them I'm going to do this episode, so they're not in here, like making the file entry more accurate. I feel like I've got that for now. I'm not sure how deep I'll show you guys doing that. I'll think about that. Let's see how far we get with that. But yeah, we'll just go into like looking at it and you guys can see it. So yeah, I'll do some comparisons in MS Paint as well. Anyways, let's just copy these notes over and then we'll discuss them. for those. That is in, and I also see a note here where I removed the corner drag handles. I'm going to do that too. So let's switch to the code. Where's that corner one? Yeah, corner drag handles are too near inside. I actually checked that again. They're actually okay. So never mind that. But here under styling could be more accurate. Here's some notes I made. So yeah, the taskbar hovering colors, that doesn't look right at all. The title bar icon and text, I haven't really double checked that enough, so I'm not comfortable with it. Let me open it here so I can show you. So in regards to the looking above here, this is the title bar icon I'm referring to. I don't think that's quite exactly the way I want it yet. And then for here, when I hover, you see how there's this like gray. That's not quite the right color. So back to the notes here. What else we got? Taskbar entry icon. Should I zoom in here a bit more? Actually, I think it's a reasonably good size. You guys tell me if you can't read it. Taskbar entry icon and text position. Yeah, same with the thing here at the bottom here, this piece. The text and the icon, again. I want to make sure it's perfect, you know? And what I want to do for that is I want to, in my Windows, get an app that has that icon, like make an icon. Maybe I have a custom test one. I might even do like 32 by 32 white block icon, just so that wherever it puts it in Windows, it'll be very obvious that, oh, it turned my 32 icon into 16, you know? Versus like an icon that's got some transparency and you're like, what are the bounds of this icon a little bit? It's trickier. But if you just have an icon that's just full one color, it's very easy to see in Windows where it puts it. And same with the text. I've had a bit of trouble getting the text exactly right. It's tricky, you know, because I'm using the exact font. I'm using, in CSS, I'm using the system font that actually uses Windows desktop font, like the same one basically. But the coloring, the style, the shadow, the brightness, I've had a trickier time with that. One thing I found that I'm thinking of doing that I haven't done yet in the code is I found I can actually make the text brighter than white by adding a filter of brightness. If you do like filter brightness 1.1, that made it look a bit whiter, oddly enough, you know, even though I already picked the font color to be white. So anyways, back to the notes here. Yeah, I need some spaces in the taskbar for some little separation between the icon here. If you see here between the two hovers, there's no space. There should be some space there, a little bit, like 3 pixels or something. I need to double check. And the grouping, yeah, I don't think that's right. Like if I have 2 windows, I don't have 2 apps right now, so we can't see it. But if I open another window, the taskbar right now would be a mess. I think it would put the next entry below it. I want it to be to the right. I want the width to be right. I haven't perfected that yet, I don't think. So I don't think we'll get too far into that. Anyways, that's those notes. What else did I do? That was it. So that's the show notes. So the way that I do when I'm looking at my commits to know what I've changed, once I've looked at a file in Git and I'm like, okay, I've done all the differences here that I cared about. Actually, I haven't mentioned this one, app-based background color, but I actually don't like that one. I'm not going to put that in there. That's like to solve a problem that we haven't ran into yet. So I'm not going to prematurely like add things that we need to solve. I mean, I did here, but these I know are for sure issues. Whereas this, it's like, maybe I just did it wrong the first time, I feel like. So anyways, once I'm done with that file, I just minimize it here with this little arrow. So there we go. That file I don't have to think about anymore. And now I go into the code and just say updated to-do notes. There we go. Commit that. And I'm also going to throw that into the show notes as what I did here. Cool. And then we move on to the next thing. And it's not file by file. I kind of look and see like, oh, right, this is what I was doing here. And then I try to remove all the files where I made those changes. So you can see here in this file, what I did is I was getting rid of these react.fcs. I've decided to just completely get rid of them. I had it like 4 episodes ago. I talked about getting rid of these and then I didn't get rid of them all. I only got rid of some of them and now I just want to get rid of all of them. So I'm just going to very specifically say them here. I need a bit more water. Man, I'm thirsty today. So I want to get rid of these react.fcs and turn them into these very explicit ones. Let's do that. We don't have to look at the code here. So that one, I just want to get the idea for it. So I can make the notes here. Remove react.fc. And now we'll just search for them. There we go. So the way that I want to, first I hover over children to figure out, okay, it's a React node. like so, and then I'm just gonna go styled app props, the name of it plus the word props. This is a type, by the way, and it's that. There we go, so there's that. JSX element. Yeah, I always specify the JSX element. Oh, that was another thing, I guess. If I had React.FC and you hover over this, does it say that it returns a... Doesn't really explicitly say it returns a JSX element. Oh yeah, here it does. If I hover over this piece here, it knows this. So that's all I was trying to... So I already was just copying what React.FC was doing. I can hear some birds outside my window. Some seagulls gulling. Okay, so that's the first one. So that's simple enough. And I'm actually going to copy this little piece, I think, because I'll probably need it again. Yeah, same story here. Type desktop props. JSX element. There we go, simple one there. Another one down. What's the next one? Again, I gotta copy this. Yeah, this one's a little trickier because I have this piece. So what we'll do, type window props equals, and we're gonna go process component props and this children. Simple enough. Refactor, right? Just getting rid of these React FCs because nobody wants them anymore. What's it saying here? It cannot find module type declaration file. Or its type declaration file. Huh. Looks like my NPM's being a bit wonky. Let's do NPM I here just to make sure it's not being silly again. Let's assume that that's fine for now. But I'm seeing some squiggly lines, you know? You never know with that. Save that, and what's left? So this one's a little trickier here. But it's basically the same. So it's taking a function here. Yeah, this is a little trickier. I think what we'll do is just say that this is... We need to specify the props here anyways. So this is the process provider props. Equals that. Okay, we'll put that here as the props of the function, and it returns the JSX element. There we go. And we need to specify here that it's returning a JSX element. Well, it's getting far. Maybe that's too long. Oh, I need to get rid of this anyway, so that might shorten it. Ah, yes, I need to specify the children. Don't forget, well, please someone think of the children. There we go. There. So I think I've removed, yeah, all React.FC is gone. And the code hasn't exploded. So it's recommended not to use it. I think in a previous episode I talked about it more. So let's go into the code now. And so we can minimize this one. We can minimize that one. Where were the other ones where we had to remove it? There's more to that one, so we won't minimize that yet. This one here, pretty much the same. Yeah, I did the same. I did it on one line here, but that's okay. I'm happy with the way I did it this time. So we minimized that one too, and that was it. Go back to the top and let's see what the next thing is. So this is a bigger change involving the window. Let's not get there yet. I did a lot, man. That we don't need to see because that's been changed. So basically, the useDraggable, resizable stuff, I completely refactored. And what I think is a decent way. It looks like a lot of changes, but it's mostly just moving stuff around. Let's get into it, I think. What else have I changed here, though? I want to find some minor stuff. So this is the styling stuff. So many things. Well, one thing I wanted to do is the theme. I wanted to split up the theme into its own folder. Maybe we start there, because that's an easy one. Yeah, these other ones are insane. This one's easy too. Basically, I just don't want to use key for the definition. I think I'm only using it in one place. Yeah, key is too general. It's not a key, it's the name of the theme. So let's just say name. There we go. Oh man, I didn't commit these other ones? Lazy. So let's finish this React.FC thing, right? We'll put these in staged. Keep that away for now. Removed react.fc. Did I add that in the notes? Yeah, I did. I added in the notes, but I didn't make the commit. There we go. And no, key is too generic. Yeah, that works. No, I don't like that. Theme key is name. Or change theme key to name. There we go. Let us not think of it further. So that was a minor one. This is another easy one. Just turn these into constants. This already exists, so let's find this in the code. Search for it. There it is. So I've already had these two things here. I want those to be constants, basically. I'm just going to cut these out of here, and I have a constants file already. Constants, and I'll put it at the top here. And at the same time, I want to alphabetize this, so the M should have been after the I, like so, and the W, P, elemental P, QRS. And because these are constants, I'm going to go with the capital styling. So I actually had it written down. There's the window one. There's the size one. And we need to export these. And on top of that, what I also wanted to do was define these types so that it's very clear what type they are when I pass them in later. So that's the position, as we know. Oops. And this is the size. And we can import the position again from the same place we already got it in the other area. Now size, I think, comes from here. Now I actually wanted to do something here a little tricky. Well, first I'm just going to export the size. We'll get to the trickiness in a second, actually. So I have to export this so I can import it here. There we go. So these two types are defined. Let me press save so it redoes that piece. Why does it think that's not there? That's silly. The app here is working. Resizing works, so it is working. Okay, guys. Oh, I'm not feeling too well today. I don't know. I'm just tired. So for size, yeah, so let's just do it like this for now. So I extracted the constants. Basically just need to import them here. Window position, window size, and hopefully we can auto import them now. Yep. Nice, that's better. So that was cool. So simple change, extracted default window constants. Yeah. Close this stuff. Put that in the notes. Yeah, that's like a refactor. So we can minimize that. So what I wanted to do, I have a cool little trick I want to show you guys that was from the commit. So it's right here. Let me just go to the code actually and just go right to it. So basically for size here, I don't know if you guys know this. This is a cool little trick. So let's say for reactRnd, let's say that I want to export size, right? Because they actually have size. And then I comment it out there. And where is it used here? Here. And now there's no problem at all. Huh, okay. That's not supposed to not work. That's not supposed to work. Why did that work? Let me inspect this. Go to definition. No. Oh, because it's having a problem with react.rnd already. Let's close VS Code and open it again, because that sometimes fixes it. And OBS will not find it automatically for some reason. Now my OBS is not finding VS Code either. There we go. So now it's working, as you see. So again, VS Code was wrong. I close it, I open it. That's all I did, and now we're getting the result I expected. So if you hover over size here, it says module react.rnd declares size locally, but it is not exported. So how would I get access to their declaration? Interesting, hey? So if I go into definition, or how do I get in here? Go to type definition. Oh, right, because it's not exported. Let's do position then. Go to type definition. What? Go to definition. Okay, so I have to go to definition. Whatever. So now we're in their type definition file. And if we look at size, let's look for size. So here it is. So cool. So I have CC, it has declare, but no export, right? It's like, okay, well, is it used somewhere else? So we keep looking. So it's used in props here, and props is exported. So what I found out you can do is, let's say, okay, I want props then, like so. What's it complaining about? Is it the sort order there? Oh, it just removed it. Don't do that. Okay, add props. So now if I do size again, I have to make my own size, but what I can do is I can go props, and I can just literally say size. Just like that. And now if I hover over size, you see it actually got the size from props. So now I've gotten that type, even though it wasn't exported by them. And now another little trick here that I found is this non-nullable that you can do to because if you hover over this, you see how it says size or undefined? Well, before it was just always size. It was never or undefined. It needs to be defined. So all I have to do is say, okay, but this is non-nullable. And there you go. And now size is totally fine. And now the size that I have is the one that we expect. Look at that. So now it says it can be a string or a number. Mine only said it could be a string because I only need a string. But I'm happy to take the size thing from R&D because then I'm just matching the spec even better, you know? So that's kind of cool, right? So, okay, that had to reorder that. Cool. So there we go. So that's another neat little trick. So use size type from R&D. I don't know if you guys have ever ran into that issue, but it's intriguing. So let's go back and see what else we can discuss. I think we've gone through almost everything else without getting into the big ones, you know. All right, splitting up the theme. Let's do that. So if we go to styles, default theme, let's close this. So you can see here we got colors, we got formats, we got sizes, we got a wallpaper. Basically, I'm just going to make a folder of that. So if anyone wants to make a theme, they can put it in the folder. So I make my folder, I move default theme into it, like so. And now because it's going to be the root, I'll call it index, and everything else I'll make outside of it. So we got colors.ts, we got, what was it, formats.ts, we got sizes.ts, we got wallpaper.ts, that's it. So now we got all these open. So let's start taking them out here. So colors goes there, formats here, sizes there, and wallpaper here. And for wallpaper, we also can take the import as well. There we go. And we go export default. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy this. So we got it in all of them. And then I'll export the variables. There we go. I think I'm more comfortable in my less comfortable chair. I'm going to switch chairs, guys. So, going to the very basic chair sometimes, you know? Sometimes it's just more comfortable, but we'll see for how long. Okay, so we got those exported. So I'm going to do a save all there, and it's going to format them. Let's look for any errors. None there. Good. Good. Okay, cool. So now we just have to do the imports. So it's not figuring out the auto import. Let's just type it out. Import colors from styles/default theme/colors. And we'll just copy that and do this same variable copying. Like so. There we go. So now we've kind of simplified that. We don't have to keep going back to the default theme thing. And now we can very easily target which one we're looking at. Another reason I did this is to try to cut down on the size, because I've kind of set myself an 80 line limit, but I'm going to break that eventually for the type definition for the theme here in styled. This is just out of hand big at this point, so I don't know if I'll split this up. I might, but that's getting crazy. So I have a lot of mixed feelings about the theme right now. It's still very rigid. Like, to turn this into a Windows 98 theme or 2000 still needs a lot of work, because it's got a lot of Windows 10 specific adjustments that, like, I wouldn't need some of this stuff necessarily, or it would need to be different things that I'm adjusting, you know? So I need to think about that. But I think when I make a second theme, I'll do that. I just see a message here in the chat I'm going to comment on from Aravind AJ. Just wanted to pop in and thank you for the content. This is awesome stuff. Oh, much appreciated. Thank you very much. I'm happy people are liking it. I've had a lot of positive support. So yeah, I'm having fun with it. Like I said, 13 episodes now. And yeah, I'm hoping to just keep doing this. It's I still have a lot of hopes and dreams for the app. Some of them are in the README here that you guys have seen. So I think it's actually a good idea putting this here probably. I mean, I don't know if people know about this. Maybe I should start putting this in my description, but this is the kind of stuff I hope to get to in the near future. So yeah, maybe I'll post that in a comment or something in the near future. I'm hoping to do some dev.to articles to kind of bring some attention to the project and get more people interested in it, because it couldn't hurt. Thanks for the comment anyways, Aravind. Much appreciated. Or AJ for short, perhaps. Okay, so we've extracted out the theme into these files. Let's just commit that. I think that's good. I think that functions. Actually, let's double check. Default theme, where is it imported? Maybe the import broke. Here, I think. No, where would it be? In themes? Here. Okay, cool. That's the thing that I thought was cool too, is that this import stays exactly the same when you turn a file into the folder where it's called index. So I like that part about that little refactor as well. So let's say split theme into files, default theme. Here we go. And let's go back to the code here. So some of these I didn't change, I think. Let me double check. Did I change the wallpaper? I think it's the same exact settings. Oh, I actually did change the color. Let's change the color then. So I went with this color. I think it's a little darker blue. I think it's similar to what why did I go with that color? I don't know the reasoning behind that color. Maybe that's the highlight color. I'm not sure. This is just one of those minor adjustments. So it's literally all I changed. So let's go into the code here and see what that looks like. So I'm changing this. Let's see if the blue changes. Did it? Maybe I have to refresh for the wallpaper. Let's refresh the page. Oh, I'm not even running the dev environment. NPM run dev. Okay. That might be part of it. Okay, so I ran that. Have to reload this. There we go. So let's go back to the old color. There we go. So that was the lighter blue, and I've gone to this darker blue that's similar to how the starting color that I use when you first go to my website before my rainbow effect starts. I kind of like this contrast a little more. It's a little more relaxing. So we'll keep it like this until we do that rainbow stuff. Oh, I should add that to the notes. I didn't have that on there. Do I have anything about the wallpaper? No. Yeah, I wanted to add that. Wallpaper rainbow color. There we go. Added note about wallpaper. It's the most minor commit ever, but it's out of the way. I don't want it sullying up this change. Okay, so adjusted wallpaper color. So don't ask me how I got to that color. I figured out that this was just a basic, like the same hex basically. It's like that. Like that color is equivalent to this. So it's kind of a neat thing that they've done there. And I guess, what did I have before? I had that. So that would be like, it'd be like #00. That would be like that in HTML, basically. Oh, shit. I don't want that change anymore. No, don't save that. I've already committed the correct color as the blue that I wanted, so done. Let me add that here. Adjusted wallpaper color. And I won't make a note about the notes because that was like the same as this here. I won't make a note about the notes. All right, what's next? Back to the code. The changes from last time. So yeah, it's from my work throughout the week. So I'm pretty sure I've added to this, so I'm not going to minimize this file yet. This is just like how it looks now. So we won't have to look at that file again probably until I add another section. Formats I didn't change. And this I probably added to as well. So that's it for like theme refactoring for what I want to talk about at the moment. A lot of this is styling. I don't want to get into the styling yet. Leave that till the end. Yeah, almost everything below this is styling. An insane amount of it is. That's a nice thing about having the styles folder is that in my diff, the styles are all in one place kind of. So this is when we get into the session stuff. That'll be after we refactor the hooks. Yeah, so let's get into the refactoring of the hooks. So the basic idea of what I want to do, let's go to the code here. And I'll peek back at the code later, but let's just try to refactor it without looking at it. So we got this useDraggable and resizable. I want that to be smaller, much smaller. I want that to be a useDraggable hook and a useResizable hook. And the reason I didn't have them as separate ones, I actually combined them, I think, last stream possibly. But the reason I had them that way is because in this hook here, you need to set both. When you update the size, the position also essentially is changed in a lot of instances. So what I need is a third hook, basically. About these update commands. So the hooks, the resizable hook and the draggable hook are just going to focus on exporting the set size, set position, but also handling the maximize logic. So currently it's doing both. Like this useDraggable and resizable it's doing, here it's got the like R&D update stuff, this position updating. And here it's doing taskbar size calculations for maximized heights and maximized positions, doing logic for. We want to separate that out. And also, once we have this other hook that's going to handle this, I'm actually going to bring some stuff into that hook from the window. I'm going to make another component as well. If we go to our window here, so you see our window's got a lot that's going on too. Like, it's doing stuff with this draggable resizable. It's like, I want the window to just be about like, what are the window's pieces? Like it's resizable, draggable, it's styled, it's got a title bar. I don't want all this logic in here. That the whole idea that it's resizable and draggable, that should be a component, I think, that wraps around it. So in other words, all this stuff will be part of it too. And I'm just going to export, I'm going to make a hook basically that gives us all these props. That's going to be where I'm going to have the update stuff. And then I'm just going to turn that into a component as well to kind of, let's just get into it because I can't describe it. I can describe it in code better than I can in English, you know. I speak better in TypeScript in this case. So let's make another file called useDraggable.ts. And let's copy everything that's in draggable resizable and then shave it down. So draggable, yes. Resizable, no. We want to export draggable. It's called useRdraggable now. Nothing about size, position, yes. We don't need these commands. These are going to go up to another hook. This is about size. These are about size. So there we go. So I also wanted to make it an array, almost like return just like how useState works in this case, because it's just going to be about the position and setting the position. And the setting logic is happening in another hook. So I'm going to do this. It's going to be made up of position and something to set the position. And what is set position? If we hover over it here, you can see what it is here. It's a React dispatch event. So we'll just go react.dispatch. I don't know if we need that. I think we can just do that. I'm not sure. What did I do? Yeah, that's how I wrote it last time. Why do I, how do I write other dispatch commands? Do I have any other? Here I used it, so let's use it. I just have to say react dot. There we go. So that's a more simple one there. And then we want to export it as an array in which it has set position and it has this object. There we go. And we'll press save to let this clean up. No, it's broken. There we go. Oh, it's a one-liner now? Nice. Okay, and what are these things we don't need? Pretty much a lot of stuff. So you see how we really simplified that logic to an insane degree, actually. There's one other piece here. So this piece here, I want the useDraggable to be past position, because the previous hook, later on, I'm going to get the past session state. So what was the position last time, but when it was open, and we'll pass that into this. So this, we don't want it to always use default as the start. So what we'll do is just say the next field is position, and by default, it's the default if you don't pass anything. And then we'll say that's position. So yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm surprised that's a one-liner now, because in my code before it wasn't a one-liner, and prettier, it's the same prettier, but that's a one-liner now for this piece here, sorry. Yeah, so useDraggable is pretty simple now, but I like that we've gotten rid of some code, right? So let's now, oh, I closed that, oh well. Let's make useResizable now. Copy the name again. There we go. useResizable, and I'm going to copy all the code again, and again, just cut it down. So now we don't need the draggable stuff. Size, yes. No position. None of this. None of that. I'm going to do the same pattern of turning it into an array that exports that object. Call this resizable now. And how does that look if I press save? Okay, it's partly okay with that. I need to update this type now. So the same kind of thing with set size being a dispatch command. Say dispatch react dot. I like to be explicit here. You could import React type, but I like doing it here because it's just like, this is React, you know? I don't know why, but I like it in this one case. So clean this import up. And now also we're exporting size from the useResizable. Fits a bit better, I feel. So that's the logic there. Yeah, that's clean. So we've cut those two down. And is that how I had it? Let's take a peek at the code and see if that's kind of how I got it. So yeah, we see this one, the draggable one, that was exactly how I had it. Here's the resizable one. So the resizable one, yeah, that's pretty much how I have it. Let me double check. So I've made this function called pix to int. I think I might do that now because it's basically just the same thing. Other than that, I've got it, I think. Yeah. So let's make this pix to int command. It's basically just this that I've done here. So let's make that a util for that. For string functions, I guess. Utils is the folder for stuff that you haven't had a good idea where to organize it yet, I think. So string functions, and I'm going to make it called, I'm just going to cut this and bring this with me. So export const pix px to int. Yeah, or to number, int. Maybe to number, because that's more Englishy. And it's a function that takes the value as an, what is that, a string, I guess? Yeah, it's a string to start. And it returns a number. And here's the logic right here for it. But this now it's value. So the value, replace the pixel word and then convert it to a number. That looks right. What's it complaining about here? Oh, I'm missing a bracket. And then we get rid of that, and it's going to complain because I'm not exporting it as a default. But I don't want to, so I'm going to just ignore that rule for now. There we go, I think. No, why is it complaining here? Don't use number as a type. Oh, use number with a lowercase. Okay. Nice advice. Oh yeah, number is an actual function here. That's confusing. Okay, that's cool. So pix to number. So now when we go here, we can just go like pix to number. Oops. Cover that, and it's going to be this now. And I'm actually going to make it a little bit shorter, and I'm going to take taskbar out of sizes. There we go. Move that there. Maybe I'll have this use state at the top, and I'll have this down here. Let's save that. There we go. Import this. Nice. So that's pretty simple. So now useResizable also is quite simple. And oh, I also have one more thing to do. The same thing where I want to pass the size, just like how I passed position. Call it like that. There we go. So pretty simple resizable hook. Just keeping track of this height and width and doing some special logic when it's maximized, and also it knows about the taskbar height because that's important. So we got useResizable, we got draggable. We can close these now. And now we can turn this one into that other thing I was talking about. We can turn this into that useRnd, and we'll make it about returning the RND props. So what things do we not need here? So now we're going to return the props, actually, is what I want to do. Close, get rid of all that. So we already import the props. We don't need, oh wait, we might need position. Yeah, so now these hooks here, these will now become those hooks. So yeah, it'll be like useResizable in this case. There we go. What did I just delete a second ago? Did I delete something I needed? I don't think so. Let me double check. Let me look at my changes here. I totally deleted something I needed, I think. No, I didn't. But what I need is to know maximize state. Why don't I know that here? Oh, okay, it's right there. Duh. Jeez. I'm just blind to it. For some reason, I thought I had to add a variable here. I think I'm thinking about ID, but I don't need ID yet, I don't think. I might. We'll see. I don't at the moment. So that's useDraggable. Then, there we go. And also it needs maximized. So that gives us the same exact functionality here. These are wrong. That's supposed to be in hooks. There we go. Don't need that. Don't need the theme information. Don't need position. Don't need use state. I'm not using this anymore, or any of this information. Now I already have, well, this is like size now. Let's go and see what I did in the code here for this useRnd thing, because I think it just, so we did useResizable, right? That's done. So where's the useRnd part? Here it is. Okay, so now I'm just directly calling this position and size and just passing them straight into the props. And we got this window state stuff here that we're not going to deal with yet. But yeah, I don't need the specific pieces anymore. I can just say, this is size, and this is position, because I'm providing the RND props now. And I'm actually going to rename these too, to what I want them to be. So this happens on, when is this? On drag stop. And currently, let's double check this in the window. Yeah, here. See, here they are here. This is the props I want to copy. So let's take these actually. This is what I want to return now, is this stuff. So before I was taking height and width to make it, but now I already have size here. So actually, let's just copy these right into the array. Let's just say, okay, so now we have size. Now we already have position. So here's the on drag stop. I'm going to call it that now, on drag stop. Don't need these here. So we had on resize, but I've actually was playing around with it the other day, and I can use on resize stop, which is way more efficient. So we're going to use on resize stop now. And that's another prop. I'm going to alphabetize these two, elemental P, element O, P, QRS. There we go. The rest were good. So disable dragging, that's based on maximize, which we have here. And enable resizing based on maximize, we have that. So now we don't need any of this. And we can still export that. Or import, or prop, explode that, whatever. I need to import this, I guess. I don't have this here. Okay, there we go. This is called useRnd now. So what is it saying I'm missing here? Oh, okay, so now it needs these. That's fair to be there. And same with set position, element OP. Let's do position first, I guess. Just for no other reason than it's alphabetical, but I don't think it makes a difference, so. Although it is on resize, so why set position first? It's all the same. Let's set size first. For some reason, that just makes more sense to me logically. But order-wise, we'll keep them alphabetical here. So it's complaining here. Let's do auto-fixing here of whatever it's complaining about. There we go. So that actually fixed that. So now you see, now we got the two separate hooks here, and this just focuses on the stuff we need R&D to do, or we need to track, basically, is the update, is the on drag stop and on resize stop. And position and size we pass in, along with this stuff. So this is all dynamic stuff here. Nice. So I think that pretty much matches what we had. Let me check here. So yeah, I think that's this, except the session stuff and the ID. But that's because we're not at the session piece yet. We'll get there. Other than that, that's pretty good. I like it. So next we go, what happened here? Did you mean import size? Yeah, I guess, but it's already fixed. From hooks useRnd, yes. What's Constance complaining about? Let's close it and open it. Huh. Module hooks useRnd has no exported member size. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Now it's in useResizable. There we go. Constance is fixed. And this can be totally changed now. So now this would just be like the R&D props. I think. And they would come from here, useRnd, R&D props. And we import useRnd. And then we don't need a bunch of this stuff. So you see how that's a lot more simple, right? So now it's like this, so it's like, okay, this is a window. What's a window do? Oh wait, this is wrong. Oh no, this actually works. Why did I want to have an R&D component then? Huh. Maybe for this logic? Oh, because there's where we're going to save the session too. Because in the session it only matters to R&D to save. Well, this isn't bad like this, but I wanted to extract this into its own component, I think. Let's take a look at what I did for the R&D window. Here's the R&D window. So what am I doing here? What's important here? So yeah, this stuff is about saving the session. We're not at session yet. Here's the piece here I was talking about. This is about the session. This is about the session. Yeah, pretty much everything here is about the session. So actually, let's just leave the code like this. This is okay for now. But when we get into the session, rather than bloat the window part with saving the size and position, I'm going to move that into a component called R&D window. And then we'll do all that stuff in there, and this will stay slim. But for now, it's already slim because I don't have the session stuff. So does that work? Looks like it's working. Let's open a window and see. Yeah, we do that. We resize. We're dragging. Cool. Maximize. Minimize. Close. Nice. Didn't save the position though because it doesn't have session. So there's a cool refactor, I think. We really changed it there. So we turned a hook that was like 57 lines into 3 hooks, but they're more simple. A 17-line one, a 32-line one, and another 40-line one or whatever, but it's very separated logic now. Updated constants. We made that string function for converting pixels to numbers, and we managed to slim the window down a bit because we don't need to do any of this logic in the window. That's specific to resizing and dragging, whereas the window is just like a concept I'm trying to go for. So cool. So refactored, resizing and dragging hooks. More refactoring. That was a big one. How's our live stream going? Looks like it's okay. We're at an hour now. Got a couple likes. Thank you guys. So that is that piece. And let's go back and look at the code once again. So without the session, what have we got left to do here that I did? This is styling related. This is about that R&D component. This has some session stuff in it that we need, I think. The reading of the session versus the saving of it. This is session stuff, and then we're just styling. So I think we're done refactoring, and now we're gonna save sessions for Windows, in which by that I mean without refreshing, between closing and opening a window, there will be a memory of the position and size. Not maximized though, I haven't solved that yet. That's a little trickier, believe it or not. It probably shouldn't be, but for some reason I had an issue with it, so I'm just not gonna resolve that today. Let's get this chair out of the frame. Get out of the frame, chair. There we go. Get out of the frame, chair, you're drunk. So yeah, just looking at this, all the rest is styling. So let's get into the 2 big changes today, which are the, oh wait, I have one more thing here. I mean, this is styling, but is it? Let's look at the code for a second here. What are my min, window, and height now? I think they're nothing. So let's see how small we can make this. Oh, quite small. Smaller than necessary. So what I wanted to do, I don't think I have all the styling right for it yet. I do in the code, but not here yet. I'm going to do the, yeah, that's true. I don't have the styling completely right yet. Well, let's do the min height first, because then it'll make sense why I'm styling. So the issue here, you see when I'm going size, you see the hello world, I don't want it to go into 2 lines. I want it to stay in 1 line and to turn to ellipsis and then eventually disappear. We'll get to that. But for now, the reason I want to do that is because I want the minimum width to be a padded icon plus the 3 nav buttons, because that's pretty similar to how it works on Windows, if not exactly the same. And as far as the height, I want it to just be the title bar, which I've decided to be 30 pixels, which I might tweak. I think it's 29 at the moment, but so you see if I go in the height, I want it to stop at the height of the bar. And I also want the hello world piece to disappear, because that's supposed to be the app. That's supposed to be in the app. So there's an overflow issue there. So for now, you guys will just have to trust me that the sizes match up perfectly there. And I'm just going to set these. And then when we do the styling and we have that minimum, we'll see in the styling if we don't have it right, we'll know. And then we can adjust here if it's wrong. But for now, let's just go with that under the idea that the 3 buttons plus the icon and its padding is the width. And the height is based on the title bar minimum. So as far as where to put them, it's quite simple. We just put those in the RND defaults that we have. So I think alphabetically they go here. Elemental PQR, yeah. So yeah, we have min height and min width. And now if we save that, now you see there's a limit. But the X is still going off because hello world is taking up some space. We'll fix that later. And the height, you see the height stops right. But you see there's like a little gray line at the bottom here. We'll fix that when we do that, not 29, I want 30. And we'll also make it so hello world, this piece of hello world doesn't show up because that's supposed to be inside the app. And we're supposed to have shrunk the app to be nothing right now. So we'll fix that later, but at least we got a minimum height and width that's something. So let's save that. Okay. That was actually in the styling, wasn't it? Oh, I had to do styling first. Should I? Yeah, maybe. Maybe we do styling first. We're already on a roll. Let's do it then. So we're doing styling right now. We just did the min height and width, so set min height and width. Oh man, styling, that's going to be big. So we did this, we did that one. We're going to ignore the session stuff now and get into the styling. So this is the theme part, but let's do one thing at a time here. Let's style the title bar. So I'm going to literally just copy it. So let's find where I use title bar. So there's the title bar. Let's go to the code first of all. What do I got for title bar right now? Probably not much. Components, window, title bar. Oh, so I actually have a lot already. Jeez. I think I made a lot of theme stuff too. So I exported some theme logic. So let's go back to my commit change here. Oh, that wasn't even the right place that I was looking at here. That was in regards to maximize. Why is maximize special? Why do I care about that? I don't even remember why I care about maximize. We'll get into that in a second, I guess. But the title bar I was looking for was not that one. It was the theme itself I'm looking for. Here it is, styled title bar. So I changed quite a bit. So let's see what I changed here. So the background color, I'm exporting that now. Maybe we copy the theme stuff first, because that's easier. So let's see what so I added these things to the theme. Let's go to the code, put those in. The styles here. So within, yeah, right here was it? No, this isn't, is it sizes? Yeah. Where did I put this in the code? Yeah, right after taskbar. So let's slip it in here. There we go. So for the title bar, we're going to do the button icon width, the button width, the font size, the height of the title bar, the icon margin, and the size. Yes. Let's go back to the browser and see what we used. We used these numbers here. They're somewhat arbitrary because they're fine-tuned. So let's just add those to the sizes here. Same place. There we go. So we've set these numbers. We're going to go into them when we get into the other piece. And now we'll get into the other piece, which is where I added them in the styled component. That's like the most important part, really. Here we go. So the background color, I've made that into a theme piece. Where is it here? There we go. So yeah, rather than having white just show there. Oh man, that's in the colors. Ugh. There's more to my title bar theme then. Okay. Back to the, yeah, I'm already here still. So I actually need the colors piece of the title bar too. So I did a lot of work on the title bar. So that's the sizes piece. But as you see here, there's also this color piece. Yeah. Yeah, so I added sizes to the title bar and I added colors to the theme. See, this is what I mean where the theme's getting out of control. But let's go back to the code. So in colors, I also have a title bar here, and I have 4 different colors that I'm dealing with. And that would be in colors here then. So let's see where that is in the code here. Colors, colors. There it is. So add it there. There we go. Now we can go back to the theme and try to make sense of what I've added here, because now we have all the pieces of the puzzle. Is this it here? Yeah, title bar. Title bar is the one where I changed the most almost. So let's go into the code now. So first we're going to update the background color. It was already black, but I've moved it into the colors here. Let's just look at the, yeah, so black. So I've kept it black, of course. Let's open a window so we can see it here. Open a window, figuratively speaking. Save that, that's the first thing. And now you see if I go into colors and I make this like red, nothing happens. Ta-da! Maybe let me reset this after moving around so many items. Or am I just dead wrong? Interesting. We got a style title bar, title colors, title bar background. Colors background. What's going on there? Is that not the background? Seems to not have any interest in respecting my settings. Oh, geez, guys, right? Silly. So this is just colors background. I wanted title bar background, obviously. Oh my gosh. So watch, when we make this one red, maybe it actually works. There we go. Okay. So now we made it into the theme, so that's cool. We can adjust it all in one place. So what else do we want to theme? So first thing I noticed with the title bar, I noticed this on Notepad. Let me open Notepad and throw it into... Wait, is it Notepad that I noticed it? Or not? I don't know if it is Notepad. It's the command prompt maybe I noticed it in. Yeah, maybe. Let me take a screenshot here and then throw you guys in MS Paint and kind of go into my madness here of when I'm looking at the files. Or looking at the details here. So you see when I zoom in here, so this is kind of how I get into like looking at it. So this is a real window. And you can see here, the height of the button is 29. Didn't I do 30 though? Well, it's not, let's see. We'll see how perfect things are. But you can see here at the bottom that there's a black line. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore, but you can see it here basically, that there's a black line right there. Like watch, I'll make it pink. There's pink. There, so there's that black line. Now it's pink, but I want to copy that border basically. So that's one of the settings here that I've got, is the border bottom. I want to be black. And right there, I already don't have I don't have it set for the color, a theme. It's too much work to maintain this theme. I have to do it in little sprints. So there's another piece to the theme. And I've also done box sizing content box. If we save it here before doing that, yeah, you'll see there, oh, darn it, guys. I didn't switch over. So let me undo that and watch. So I save, you'll see here at the top, watch, it'll go down a tiniest bit. So I save, goes down. Okay, it went down like 1 pixel. So if I do box sizing, does that fix it? Or did that do literally nothing? As far as I can tell, that did nothing. So I'm gonna keep that off for now. But a question I have is, yeah, we'll need to do a comparison. I might be one pixel off. Sometimes you do a lot of fine tuning and then you actually get things off in the end because you focus so much on some other piece. Because I don't know why I have box sizing content box. I don't think I need that. Maybe border box would have made sense if the border... What was my mentality for having that? I don't know. Let's just not, right? So height, we're going to also specify that. I think before it was, what was it based on before? Just the container? I think it was inheriting from the button height. I think that was what was going on. Yeah, see the button height here was 29. Like I said, we're going to make that 30 now. Yeah, now it's going to be 30. until I think about it. I mean, maybe I should just make it 29. I think that's a problem with the resizing though. Clearly that button was 29, right? Let's leave it for now. But we do want to set it here. So we want to set height. There we go. Just to be explicit, and we're going to use the exact same height here, I believe. Or do we not need it here? We don't need it here anymore. But here's a piece of what I was talking about. So as far as the resize goes, you see there how it's not going to the right size. Beep bump, beep bump. First, we don't need that height, remember? So that didn't make any difference. We just didn't need it. We have it here. If we got rid of it here, it might have a problem. Yeah, see, then it goes wonky. So there we go. Very explicit with the height. 30. For the title bar. And then what was the next one? The color of the text. We also have that. That hasn't changed, still white, but it's part of the theme now. I've also changed the font size. It was 11.5. If we look now, I believe it's 12. And I prefer 12. I think it looks a bit better. So there you go. It made it a little bigger, but that's the detail work I haven't got into yet. That's in my notes to work on. But I don't think 11.5 is right. So I went with 12. And then another piece I wanted to add was min width 0. So if I add min width 0, and now when we resize, I think it makes absolutely no difference. Oh, actually it made us some difference, didn't it? What about when min height wasn't that? Okay, yeah, it did make a difference. So you see here the X was pushed off, but now if I do min height 0, there we go. So now it's taking up no space, but it's still showing. For that, I think we need to mess with the overflow. But we're going to do it on the text specifically, not on the H1. But we've got the sizing right. So now you see that's exactly the amount that we want. So the text will disappear, but yeah, that height's perfect. Or the width, sorry. Height, I don't know if that's perfect. That might be now. So see, now it's a perfect black bar. And if we hover over, oh yeah, we get the border the way we want. That might make the 29, I don't know. I'll play around with that later when I'm doing detail work. I won't bore you guys with that. So we got this piece. We also have to set min width on the figure, I guess. Maybe that's what makes a difference. So let's do min width inherit here and see. Okay, that didn't make much difference. So let's not do that until we need it. Let's see what the next little piece. Oh, I went to MS Paint there for a second. What was the next little piece? So I've set these in themes now. I think they're the same, but let's double check. So let's just replace them with the themes first. So now you see height and width are the same variable. That's nice because now they're linked together. And I think I went with 16. Yeah, and the margin is 0 and 8 still. Yeah, which it was before. So we'll save that. So now what we need to do here is we need to add some rules for the fig caption, the text. Get that to spell it correctly. I couldn't spell it right. So first let's try overflow hidden and see what that gets us. That didn't get us much. Maybe that's where the min width comes in on figure. There we go. Yeah, so is that 0? Huh. Still shows up a tiny bit. That's funny. I feel like it shouldn't, but so the overflow hidden, that gets us part of the way there. Now that the width is properly resizing to 0, the overflow hidden is getting rid of the excess. But this little piece here, let's try to get rid of that. So first, you see here how there's no, it just beep bump, just bounces around. I don't want that. So we're gonna have to add some text overflow to ellipsis. Let's see what that does for us. Now when we do it, no, that's still not, oh yeah, you see there we get the ellipses, but 2 of them. That's not right. So we don't want it, we want it to all stay in one line. So we're gonna say when there's a white space, don't wrap on that. So don't take the space as, oh, I can do this. So there we go. So now when we do this, there, nice. And yeah, that H staying there, I don't like. I think I fixed this in the adjustments. Oh, I think because there's supposed to be like 1 pixel borders in between the buttons, and I'm gonna set that next, and that'll be that min width that I've set. That'll make it make sense, because right now with the H showing there, I would want to set the min width to be a bit lower, I would think. But once we get to more of some of the adjustments for the borders of the buttons, we'll see that that's not necessary. So we pretty much needed all those settings that were here so far. Those were correct. to get the result we wanted. Now on the button. So here's that one border to the left pixel that we want. That's on the real buttons. So we're going to add that. So if we go into the button here, we'll just add that one border, and this should move things left a little bit. Oh, it moved them right. Border on the left. Okay, maybe that makes sense. Yeah, whatever. We got a border now. We can't really see it here because when you hover over one or the other, the border is kind of in between them, but it's there. Now here we did box size content box as well. Looking at my code here, I did the box size content. Let's try that and see if that makes any visual difference. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. So before it was border box and the border wasn't resizing the content. Now that it's content box, I think it resized the box the way I wanted and kept the size of everything else. So now that, there we go, we got rid of the hello part and now it's the right size. So now you see there's the hello peeking there. That's similar to how I want it. So just icon and the buttons is the minimum. And same with the height, that's still good there for now. Cool. So there I did need content box. Maybe there's where I meant to use it earlier, I don't know. So what's next? Position relative on the buttons. Why did I do that? I'm not going to do that until I remember why I did that. So width we just were explicit on. Before it was 45. I think it's still 45. Let's say button width is still 45, but now I got it in the theme. There we go. And remember there was position relative here, but I'm going to leave that alone for a second. I don't like that. Don't need it. Why did I think I needed it even? That's weird. Sometimes you add rules you don't need. So the SVG, I'm gonna add a rule to that as well. Let's do the theming part for the SVG. So I have the text here, the color of the text, and I also have the width as a theme item. The button icon width, which is indeed 10 still. So the one that I added there was margin bottom 2 pixels, as you see. And that essentially, if you look here when I change it in the code, let's save this. This won't adjust anything. But if I add margin bottom, so if you look at the buttons here, I think they're going to go up the tiniest bit. Let's see. Yeah, you see they moved up a tiny bit. And that basically was closer positionally to how they were the real ones. And we'll do a comparison in a second here to the title bar. So that was just a little minor adjustment that's just looks better. And did position relative matter here? Let's do position relative and see if it looks even different. No, that makes no difference. Why did I have that? That's weird. Well, that's why we get to do this stuff where we whittle it down. So that was SVG, but there was this piece here. That's weird. Oh, okay, so there's like another little tweak. Oh, okay, so close and maximize need to go right one. That's why I put a class selector on maximize, because those two icons are just not quite like what they call center and what Windows has called center are slightly different. So I need to do this minor adjustment. So I'm going to do that. Let's go back to the code here. What happened to this code here? Oh, okay, that's further down. So let's just paste this in here like that was. What's it complaining about here? Oh, the positions are wrong. Okay, so this is why I adjusted this. Let's move the hover stuff down here. Yeah, because more stuff happens to close here. So this stuff is before this stuff in the order. So like I said, so we got maximize now. So now we need to add that selector because that doesn't exist. So on the title bar, we'll just add a class here on maximize. There we go, called maximize. So I want to target these two buttons for now. I could do it a different way, but I'm going to have a class. So I'm going to say close and maximize. They need to go have a one margin right. So if we save that now, you'll see here on the buttons, we'll see a change. Let's see, save. Yeah, you see the X and the box went like left 1 pixel. So that kind of fine-tuned where the buttons are supposed to be in comparison to Windows, I found. And we'll do a comparison and see how close we get. What's next? The hover stuff. Yeah, so I have a theme color now for this. So the background color for hover is now a theme element, as is the background color for the close one. Now the close one I don't think changed. I don't think either of them changed. Let's see, colors. Yeah, that was always 26s, and this, yeah, these didn't change. So I just theme elements. And I think that's it. So remember, I mostly just worked on the buttons this time. Yeah, that's it. I got every piece there, I think. Cool. So we're gonna minimize this one too. We're done with the title bar. Where was that maximize piece? We can get rid of that too. Oh man, that was way up here. Where was it? Here. Get rid of that. And yeah, that's about all we can do for changes right now for the title bar. So if we go back, let's just see what we changed here. So we added the maximize selector, we added the title bar colors and styles to the theme. We've kind of done those adjustments here, as well as adding a bottom border that I found and the min widths so that the text can shrink properly, along with the ellipsis and the no wrap. And we also added a little bit of bordering on the buttons and a little bit of tweaking of the icon positions. So let us go into the browser and try to make a comparison there. Oh man, what happened there? Let's close the dev environment and rerun it here. And refresh the page. That'll probably fix it. There we go. So if we open the window here, we got a window. I'm going to have to zoom into 100% to get an accurate comparison. And I'm going to hover over this thing. So I'm going to take the command prompt. You guys don't see it, but I've got the command prompt over top of this. And I'm actually going to make this element always hovered, so we get a nice little view of the hover effect. There we go. So you see that stays hovered. And I'm going to take a screenshot here of me hovering over the real one. Like so. There we go. Oh, that wasn't the best one, actually. I'm not happy with that. There we go. Okay. So let's go into MS Paint and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So we're in MS Paint. I'm going to zoom out, way out. Paste in. Oh. And then paste that in and zoom way back in. So there you go. So as you can see, that's pretty interesting. Let me zoom out a little bit. I want to see both. There we go. So the bottom one is a real command prompt in Windows, and the top one is mine. And let's see how close we got on some of this stuff. So this is classic MS Paint here. I'm going to move it into the window so you guys can see it a bit better. Okay, that's as far as I can zoom in. So mine's the top one there. So my border is a little darker. If you see the X's here, those look to be quite aligned. And you see it matches to the minimize and the maximize too. I use this tool to kind of like compare a lot of times. So positionally, that's perfect actually. That's right. From a horizontal, the buttons are in the right spot. What about the height of the buttons here? So if we take one of these and we can look at the bottom here to see the size. You see there? So it says 45 by 29. So the red piece is indeed 45 by 29 for me. And this one, 45 by 29. So I got those pretty close. One little interesting thing I don't know how to solve yet is if you look in there, this middle piece, that's like 4 white pixels. This is not. This is like 2 grays and 2 whites. And I don't know why, because I set the color as white on CSS. And this box is white, and this one's white, but the X, it does differently. That's something a little tricky. So that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now let's try to move it over here and see if another test too is this. If I see this, how tall is this? So that is 9 pixels tall. And on this one, in the real one, it is 9 pixels. Nice. And the bottom piece is how many? not including the border, is 10 pixels. And mine, not including the border, is 10 pixels. So there we go. So I pretty much got that right. And let's see the colors. So if I inspect this color, 232, 17, 35, and inspect this one, 232, 17, 35. So that's kind of the way that I try to get it exact, just so you guys know. And so now if we open this and we see this title bar, you know that that's pretty accurate, right? Pretty close. I mean, the hover color too is exact too. I didn't show you, but the hover color is the right one. So this piece right here is almost as close as possible, honestly. But I'm gonna keep trying it. Every little, the pixels aren't exactly the right color, so more work can be done, perhaps. I'll play around with that in a bit. And I don't know if I have this text right for Hello World or if the icon's exactly where it needs to be. So I'll play with that for the next episode. But you guys can rest assured that these nav buttons are pretty darn close, as you could see there from my example. So let's go back into the code and maybe just commit what we've done here. Yeah, I think we're good. So styled title bar. And let's add that to the notes. Styled the title bar. Cool. All right, what's next on the list? Let's go back to look at what I did last time, or last week, this week. Some minor ones. I want to do the big ones first so that we can just eliminate what's left. So I've changed taskbar elements to, I combine those. That's another minor one we can do. So if we look in the, where is that? Sizes here? Is it sizes? No, it's colors. Yeah, here we go. There's two taskbar colors here. I just made this into one thing, I think. Let's confirm that. I'm not sure. Did I change the colors? That'd be good to know. No, I didn't change the colors. So I just did, I just did that basicness here. Let's do this again. So turn this into an object and paste the stuff in here. And now this one's called background. And this one's called hover. There we go. And now I need to fix that wherever I changed it. So what was it called? Colors.taskbar. Yeah, so this one will be called taskbar.hover. .hover. This is taskbar.background now. And this one is .hover. That's a minor little refactor, but changed quite a few files. Oh, I need to change the definition too. Where is it here? Styled. Just the same piece. And I'll just copy what I already used for the setting of the variables. Just take this here, overwrite that, and then turn these into the word string. And turn that into a semicolon. There we go. So that is a minor refactor. That actually could have been in refactors. I'll put it in refactors even though I did it out of order. Refactored taskbar color theme settings. Yeah. So yeah, I changed that actually changed a lot of files. I was like, is that all the changes? Yeah. There we go. Refactored taskbar color theme settings. Simple. So let's go back to the changes here and see if there's any other ones we can adjust. So it looks like I did the same for window. I made a window background and a window shadow, and then I exported shadow. Let's do that, another little minor refactor. Let me make sure my shadow is the same. Oop. There it is, yeah, window shadow. So I did with, oh no, I went with 12 pixels now? I don't think that's what I had last time. Oh man, there we go. Oh yeah, I had 20 pixels for the shadow of the window, and I've gone to 12 pixels. So let's do that, say like window theme adjustments, hey? So let's do the same exact thing basically. In colors, we have window, and that's background. Yeah, this wasn't descriptive. Window, what window? The background. And we also want to do the hover one. And let's go to the window to see what it is now. Where is that going to be? That's going to be in styled window. And there's the box shadow. The hover. Or not hover, shadow. It's supposed to be a shadow. Where did I get hover from? I just said hover randomly, even though I told you guys shadow. I told you to your face, shadow. And then I lied to you. Also to your face. So like I said, I've turned this to 12 pixels. That's another fine tuning. I actually prefer 12, so it's not going to be a noticeable difference, but actually let's leave it 20 and then we'll change it and we'll look at the difference and see. But it's a preference thing as far as what looks better. I'm going to copy these then, and we're going to go to there and fix that. There we go. So now that's window background and that's window shadow. And we need to adjust it in the theme as well, which is where? Styled. Here it is, window. These are strings now. Strings, guys. Everybody likes strings. Okay. So that's been converted. So now, did I save this? Yeah. So the shadow, you can kind of see it there. It's like a little bit here it's appearing. And if I switch it to 12, maybe it'll just like look a little smaller here. Yeah, maybe it looked the slightest bit lighter. You guys can barely notice it, but I noticed in Windows it was a little more subtle than 20 pixels, more like 12 or 15, so I've gone with 12. Anyways, that's a minor one. So did I do anything else in regards to window? Let's take a peek. Yeah, I've also done the outline. I've also exported that. And I've also done overflow, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's do the outline here. So the outline is also a theme now. 1 pixel, 25%. I think that might have changed as well. Let's add it here. Outline. And what was it? Outline is now, oh, it's totally different now. So what was it before? Yeah, before it was just like black, 25% opacity. And now I've gone with hue, saturation, lightness. So yeah, black, no saturation, 25% lightness. So that's actually essentially the same-ish. I mean, lightness and opacity aren't the same. I've done 80% opacity. I don't know if what I did even make is an adjustment of sensibility, but it looks like I've switched to HSL anyway, so we'll see the adjustment here. So let's, we need to add outline. Outline as a string. Save that. Save this and save this. What? Huh, I missed an outline somewhere. Is this the wrong thing? What's it complaining about? That's weird. Cannot read property. No, you are incorrect, sir. Oh, it's in sizes? Why do I have that there? Oh, okay. Oops. So if I actually look at the code, there's the 1 pixel, the width of the outline. I've also turned that into the theme. So that's in sizes now. So I don't think window even had sizes. I don't know. Sizes. Did I have anything window in here? No, I didn't. Well, now I do. So window. And what was it called? Outline. Outline, and it's 1 pixel. There we go. And we need that to be in the style here. Sizes. Here it is. It's a string. There we go. So now the window's working again. So if we open it there. So the line looks a little darker maybe. Let's look at what it looked like before. Before it was that RGBA 25%. So let's, where would it be now? In the theme? Now I'm lost. Here, let's just switch that back to the old one and see what that looks like. So if we look at the border, we save. Oh yeah, much darker. I don't think the border is that dark. So let's go with this. Yeah, like the border I had before was like just black, basically, almost invisible, too opaque. Now it's less opaque, but it's still dark. I think that's probably decent. Maybe we can make it a little more opaque, like 70%. Maybe 80 was good. I wonder if the lightness needs to be lowered. What if the lightness is like 20%? I like that. Let's stick with that. Again, it's fine tuning. I don't think I have that perfect. Do I have a note that I don't have that perfect? Let me see. README. Styling. Yeah, let's put window line in there. window outline color. I'm not sure if that's perfect yet, so let's make a note on that one. Not that I'm sure if any of them are perfect, but they're as close as I'm like, at some point you have to walk away, you know, you can fine tune it forever. Okay, so now overflow hidden, that's another important one, because if we go back to the code, if you remember here the resizing, you see how we got that hello world peeking out? That is what we're gonna fix. So we just add that right here, alphabetically speaking. So now when I resize, there we go. So the window content stays there. And now that's cool. So now you can resize it to the point where you have a little bar you can move around. Just this little handy bar, and then you can make it bigger. Nice, that looks more like a window styling that I like. So let's see if there's anything else. So we can minimize this now. That we've done everything there. I don't think we're done there yet. What is this? No, we're not done there yet either, or there. This we did that already. We can minimize that. Did we do this? No, we haven't finished that yet either. This we've done. File manager, file entry, the session stuff. Okay, so that's everything for window. What have we not done here? Oh, again, the session stuff or no? Yeah, we're not passing ID yet because we don't have the session yet. Other than that, we've done everything. So that window is styled, and we can minimize another. Is there anything else to minimize? No. Cool. You see, there's too many changes. They're unruly. That's why I didn't get to prepare it as much this time. It was just so much going on. So window styling adjustments. Yeah, that's good. And we'll close some of this stuff. Too much open again. Too many things open. So make a note that we did that. Oh, what's next on this massive list of styling things? I think we're getting there. So we got all these changes to colors, all these changes to sizes, all these changes to the theme itself. But we did Titlebar, we did window. We haven't done the file stuff yet. Again, we did Titlebar, we did window. Let's do the taskbar stuff next. So for taskbar colors, it looks like we've added a few theme elements. Where are we here? Colors, taskbar. Wait, what? I already had these. Oh yeah, I did that already. I didn't add them. This is just me consolidating them. Jesus. Sorry guys. So there's only file entry and file manager left for styling, actually. Nice. So let's do both, or let's do one at a time, I guess. First one is the file entry, I think is the one I want to do. Yeah, here's the, oh wait, taskbar entry. Oh, I did a little bit to taskbar entry, I guess. Min width. Why did I set a min width and a width 100%? I'm not even going to copy this stuff. I don't know what I did there. That's just like me messing around. So let's say that file's done because there's nothing else to do there. Same with this, taskbar entries. I turned this into flex. We're not going to do the taskbar entries today. We have that in our list, so let's not mess with it. The start button. Oh, I made this. Okay, let's do that one really quick. I didn't even see that I did that one. So in the theme, what was it in sizes? Start button, icon size. Oh, I already have it. Oh, that's weird. Start button, icon size, 19 pixels. Huh. So that's when I think I made a theme element and then I never actually put it in the theme for some reason. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, simple add. Use start button theme setting. Nice. Back to the code. So this one's done too. We're getting them all done here. So let's do the file manager. What did I change here? Oh, this is again just theming stuff mostly. Man, I just did so much of that. So let's yeah, the theme, I mean, it requires this work, so it's good that we're getting this done. You know, it has to get out of the way. So let's go into the theme piece first. and find it, file manager. So I added file manager to sizes and only sizes. So we'll go into our theme, go into sizes, and we're going to add file manager right here. All sorts of fun stuff that I've already kind of defined, but I haven't turned into a theme yet. Theme settings. So where is the file manager? It's right here. And where is it in my code? It is, I'm just going to find it in the code for you guys. So, or sorry, in my previous commit. So the first thing I changed was the column gap. I've got that now. Oh man, let's copy the settings too. What am I doing here? I'm going to go back to the differences here. I need the settings themselves. I'm trying to skip ahead here because there's just so many settings. This is why I didn't prepare. So let's take a peek and see if I changed anything. Column gap 1 pixel, column gap 1 pixel. 70 and 74, 70, 74. Padding is 5 and 0, and the size is 28. Great, so I changed nothing. So with that piece of knowledge in mind, I'm just gonna do some copy pastage here. So yeah, so the column gap, run really quick one. I got the column ones here, like that. And the padding in the rows. There we go. So this is themed up now. Much more themed, even though I don't care too much about it. But you see nothing changed there because I didn't change. That's just extracting theme. Extract theme settings for file manager. Capital F, capital M. Put that in there. Add it to the list. So that's done. And now I think the file entry, that's going to be the big one. That one's huge. Yeah, so file entry, we got colors. Why did it seem like we had so many more colors there? I guess it's just because the text shadow is big. So colors, we've added a file entry. And it's going to have a background color, the border color, the text, and the text shadow. And I did tweaking here, so I think we'll have to look at the settings. They changed. And I also did sizes, I think. Yeah, file entry sizes. We'll go above the file manager sizes that we already did. Cool. Font size, icon size, letter spacing. So now let's copy the sizes. Is there anything left here then? Did this, got it. I think we got everything. Yeah, nice. I'm closing this. Oh, am I above the max lines now, I wonder? Let's check. Oh yeah, I've gone over the 80 lines. So for this file, I'm gonna disable that rule for now because this file, I haven't thought of a nice way to split this up yet, but I have a lot of themes settings now, so there we go. So it won't complain about going over 80 lines now. Otherwise, this file is done, so I don't want to look at that anymore. Now I just want to focus on getting these file entry settings into sizes. So we're going to double check these. I'm just going to paste them in first. So I think size is done now too, because I already had all this other stuff. Yeah, we already went through this other stuff. And it's the same for colors. We go add that to colors. The file entry goes here. Another big one. And this one's done too, I believe. And I think styling wise, we just captured almost everything. Yeah, so here's the file entry. So let's take a peek and see how much we changed. So we need to open the file entry. And this is where I did a lot of fine tuning. So let's see here. For sizes, let's see what the first setting is. So the first setting I have on my thing to change is what? So if we do justify content, this was totally useless, I think. Let me comment this out and we'll see if anything. So the file entry is the icon, by the way. So let's try to comment this out and save. Yeah, nothing changed to the centering. This did not need to be there. I don't know why that was there. That was the first thing I changed. Here's another subtle thing I changed. The border here, I was matching this but I can just do transparent. Basically, I want the background color and the border, the out border, the top one, to be the same. So the border here is transparent. The reason I've done 2 is just to get the spacing right for my pseudo elements border, which is a 1 pixel one that goes 1 down. It's weird CSS, but anyways, that can be transparent. This one's been turned, the other one's been turned into a theme. This one here. So we'll replace that with the theme. So what was that? The background color I had as file entry background, I had as HSLA 5025. And now the background color, oh, is totally different. What did I have it as? Okay, so yeah, so this is part of the issue. So when I hover over here, you see I'm getting some kind of gray as the background color. I wasn't even using the highlight color, but Windows does. So I was just using like some kind of hue, no saturation. So it was like black, I guess. And then 50% lightness to turn it gray and 25% to make it kind of invisible. So I've gone with 20% for the opacity now. And this color here is the highlight color as an HSL. And the reason I've gone with an HSL is because the border, the 1 pixel border that I want, I'm also using the highlight color, but I want to change the lightness from 70% to 100%. So I've managed to go from using gray to, like, here was also, this was that other border. This border here is referring to this border color because the other one's transparent. So both of them were just gray with different various lightness levels. And now I've moved the lightness levels here and I can use the highlight color. So it's a much more authentic color. So that's a long story long there. So on that note, I can replace that and I'll replace this one. Now you see here I've stuck with 1 pixel. That's something like I'm not even going to try to theme because this 1 is based on this 2, and then why would you want like 4 and 2? It almost has to be half. It's like, that's just not something that's easy to theme. That's almost what I'm talking about. Like when I want to do a Windows 2000 desktop icon, the theme is going to have to change a bit to like be adjustable. So for now, I'm not going to worry about that. Little things like this. I'll capture it later, possibly. It would also make a difference for all these -1s too. So let's just not mess with it. So let's save that. And, oh, what did I break? What did I break? Oh, because I haven't updated some of this stuff yet. Let me save this. Let me save that. Yeah, there we go. So that was just saving the settings in. So we're just going top to bottom here and we're replacing things. So now we already replaced hover color. So you see now when I hover here with the mouse, it's more blue. It's a little hard to see. Let me zoom in here. You see it's more blue there, and it's more to match this blue, basically. And that's closer to how Windows looks. And I think we could probably do a screenshot for that. I'm gonna do some trickiness to show you a comparison there after we finish the styling here. So, right, here I've gone completely themed. Let's just copy these and then, actually let's just not. Let's do them one at a time. So the text color I think I've kept as FFF. Let's see here. Yeah, the text is still FFF, capital now. Like so. The font size, I think it's 11.5. I think I've also changed that one to 12. Yeah, I've gone 12 for the font sizes for now. And that matches better, I believe, in my comparison. So that's why I also went 12 with the title bars, because I felt like, okay, it's probably just 12 all around. I've also added letter spacing here. So that was something we didn't have before, I think. And I've added a size for it, letter spacing of 0.25 pixels. That's just me fine tuning to try to get the letter spacing to look how it looks on Windows. So that's something I've added since last time. And then text shadow. This shadow's a mess. I don't know if it's the same or not. What have I got here? I wanted to add these spacings just to show this little division here. I think it's the same thing. 75, 50, 20, 0, 001, 002, 003. Yeah, I didn't change the shadow. The shadow's still the same for now because I'm still happy with that. So let's just replace that with the theme. There we go. This makes the component a little smaller. So yeah, that made that file a bit bigger, but it was just this shadow is like absurdly big right now. And then also the icon size here for the file entry, I think I have. Yeah, 48 pixels. So again, I like doing this because now it's one variable that sets two things, because I wanted to maintain that aspect ratio. So if we go back to the code compared that I changed, I just did all of these. So this can be minimized now. So look at that. I've done so many of the changes. I think all that's left now is stuff that involves that RND window session stuff. So that'll be the next big thing. Let's take a look at what we've done. We've added the file entry adjustments. Yep. And if we zoom into the code here to, let's do 150%, we can see the file entry looks pretty good. So right, I wanted to show you guys a comparison. So let's try to do this. This will be fun. So here's an idea I have. So I want to take a picture of this wallpaper and use it as my wallpaper on my desktop, so I can take a photo of an icon that looks very similar to this icon that I'm going to save. So that's complex. So first thing I'm going to do is inspect the icon. It's this favicon here. I'm going to go there. I'm going to save that to my desktop, like so. I'm going to go back up to the page. Now what am I going to do? I have to pop this off for a second, take the dock out, because I want the wallpaper to be a bit more proper, like not so little mini blocks. Now I'm going to hover over the wallpaper element. There it is. So you see how it highlighted there. So I can hover over it and I can right click on DevTools and I can do, what is it called? Capture node screenshot. So I just did that and you see a screenshot appeared there. I'll dock the dock again. So you see I right clicked and, oh, you can't see my right click menu, but there's something called capture node screenshot. So now I have that picture of the background. So now on my Windows desktop, I'm going to use the same, where's my Windows desktop settings? There we go. I'm going to use the same exact background that is my background on the app. Oh, what did it do there? It didn't do what I wanted. So the issue is that it took a picture of the icon too. Let me delete these elements that are in my way first. So we don't need that and we don't need that. There we go. So now the page is just my wallpaper. I want to take a photo of the wallpaper so I can set my Windows wallpaper to the same thing so I can get the background as close as possible to try to match that opacity. So dock the window again, refresh this page to get my elements back. I have the second saved image here, as you can see. I'm not going to screen share to show you guys my desktop, but I'm just trust me, I'm going to take a photo here. So there we go. So I'm going to rename the favicon to Hello World. And I need to hide the .ico file extension so that it looks more like how mine looks. Hide file extension. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot of that, and I'm going to jump into MS Paint so I can show you guys what I'm talking about here. So let me zoom out, zooming out, make this way smaller. Clean things. So this icon right there, that is my Windows desktop icon. So the background there looks like the background from the app because I've set my Windows wallpaper as that. And that icon there is actually the favicon file that I saved. I hid the file extension so it didn't say .ico at the end. And I renamed the favicon from favicon to Hello World so I can get close to what my icon looks like. Now I go into my browser and I need to take a picture of the exact same thing. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to close the DevTools here so that I get a similar looking thing there. Hover over it. And I'm going to do the same little screen capture picture. There we go. So I took a picture. I'm going to jump back into MS Paint. And I'm going to paste it. So that one is from my app. So they're not so far off. It's not perfect yet, though. I can see the Windows one already looks a little brighter. You know, I'm noticing. So it's a fight, you know, but let's see how close I am here. Let's see. So let's play around with MS Paint. So we'll move these close together and let's zoom in a bit more. So let's see how close we are on sizes first. I think we're pretty good on sizes. I'm going to try to position these as close as possible so I can zoom in better. There. I don't think I did that right. Actually, why have I lost the left side of this here? I've lost my left border. Was it doing that before? Oh, okay, that's weird. I don't know if that's a mistake I made. Oh, I think it's that yellow is coming from the fact that I'm focused on this in OBS. Okay, so I'm not gonna look at it in OBS, and then I'm gonna take the picture. Because I actually get a different result, oddly enough. Okay, so back to MS Paint here. So now if I paste the icon, you see that looks a little different. Color's still not ideal, but there we go. That's the sizing, right? Let me zoom in a bit more, move this up a bit. There we go. I think that's about as zoomed in as we can get. So if we look at the size, I got the width right of 74. And if we move it over here, you can see I got the height right of 70. So that piece of the icon's good. I got the border too. As you can see, I've managed to capture that there's that 1 pixel border. The icon's pretty close. The one way I do for doing the icon, because it can be hard to eyeball it, is I copy the icon and put it right over top of it. I mean, you can kind of see here, if you peek around it, you can see it's kind of there. So if I put it over top of it, right? Let me get it right. And then now I just look directly at it and then I delete it. And I see if I notice any change. So watch, I'll look directly at it and then delete. So see, almost nothing changed. And that's the one behind it. So in my eyes, I'm like, okay, those are the same. So you can see here the colors aren't perfect. But when you consider that my wallpaper is moving and the other one I just took a screenshot of, the opacity does change a little bit, you know? So it's still not perfect though. Maybe it could be a little brighter. I'm not sure. I've already got 100% lightness on that other one. Maybe in the, let's go to the code quickly and go to the colors. Maybe here, maybe instead of 70%, but you see 70% is, maybe the opacity should just be adjusted slightly then. Maybe what if this is 25% and this is 30%? Let me inspect this and just make it so it's always hovered so I can get a good peek at it. There we go. So it's hovering there. So now you see this is, you see that there is the colors staying. So let's try to, we upped it by 5%, the things. Let's save that and see if it looks a little brighter. It does look a little brighter. Too bright? I don't know. Let's compare that. Let's just do one more comparison. This is, you can kind of see the back and forth. So I don't want to look at the screen if I'm going to take a screenshot of it, because it's, then OBS gives it that ugly yellow border. So I'm taking a screenshot of the 5% increased one, going to MS Paint again, and pasting the new one in. So that's the new one. That actually does look quite a bit closer. So there we go. That's pretty close. When you consider the thing on the right is an icon that I've made in through CSS and HTML, and the one on the left is Windows. I mean, the text is still not there, unfortunately. There's some issues with it. Like the height is a little wrong here. It should be up higher, I think. By how many pixels? Let's see here. 1, maybe just 1. Yeah, it needs to be about 1 pixel up, the text. And then you can see the text itself does not look the same. I'm having trouble getting the text to be exactly right. Like the brightness isn't there. The shadow is decent. Like the shadow I did is pretty close. It's still not perfect either, honestly. But the icon is right. The positioning of it is correct, I believe. Yeah, the position of the icon is lined up right. The borders are all right, the sizes. So the text is going to be a battle we'll be working on always, you know. It's going to take some time. But it's pretty close. I mean, if you see there, that looks pretty good. I mean, let me zoom in here because it looks a little rough when I'm sharing it. To me, that looks close. So, but the text, yeah, the text needs work. I'll get back to you on that. Maybe it was 11.5 and then some other tweaks, you know. Getting it exact is tough, unfortunately. I wish there was a tool that you could just scan a picture and it'll tell you exactly how to replicate that. That would be awesome. But that doesn't exist. So let's go back to the code then. So I think we're done. We've looked at the comparison. So yeah, we styled the file entry. Restyled, I guess. It was styled, but it's better now. Improved styling. Improved file entry styling. There we go. That's better. Oh man, there's been some text messages here that I've missed, possibly. Sorry, as far as, do I have timestamps on? Let me turn timestamps on first of all. 10:30. Oh, this was half an hour ago? Sorry guys. Sorry, I've missed some messages here. So I got Tricks Chronicles. It said text shadow maybe for the X. Let me remember where that was. What was the X at some point? Well, I am using text shadows here, I believe. Yeah, I'm calling it a text shadow. For the X. Oh, I know what he's saying. Oh, for here. Is there a text shadow in the real one? I don't know if there is. I mean, maybe it'd look better, but I'm trying to replicate. I'm not sure if that was what you meant anyways, because I read your message 30 minutes too late. So sorry on that, Tricks Chronicles. But thank you for the comment. Let's look at some other ones here, actually. Alamer J. Whoa, how do you make those transitions between desktop or Windows? And how is it that you have the browser display small like that next to the editor? Is it OBS? Yes, it is OBS, actually. I've just kind of adjusted a bunch of windows. The one above me is like an app window that you can run. You can run Chrome in like an app mode. So that's just running in like an app mode. And then I'm just got code beside me. Just the way I adjusted the windows, and then you can just do these scenes with the scene transition. So you get these cool scenes. So thanks for the interest there. Yeah, OBS is fun to play around with. Maybe I'll do a video one day about how my OBS setup is. And then Sean Brown here said, just wanted to say, this is really cool, man. Impressive. Oh, thank you very much, Sean. And your message was the most recent, so you're the most relevant response. Sorry I missed the messages earlier, guys. Let me zoom in on the chat here. I didn't see it. Oh, I can't zoom in on a chat window? What? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was like a smaller window than I wanted it to be. So cool. I hope I answered the questions there, and much appreciated for the messages. So we've extracted improved the, there we go. There we go. I got the smiley face from Sean. Thank you. So there we go. Improved file entry styling. So I've done all the styling now, I think. So not everything's perfect, obviously. Let me reload this so it's not hovering. But we're getting there, right? We got this styling here. We don't have a start menu yet. I still need to do some coloring here. The window's getting really close, styling-wise. And the next thing that I'd like to do is I'd like the window positions to be remembered while you're working with the thing, you know? Not between refreshes yet, because that gets into more stuff. But let's do the session. And let's look at the code to remind myself how I did the session. So it looks complicated here, but I don't think it is. Let's start with this RND window extract thing, because that's a simple little piece here that at least gets things one step closer. Let me minimize all this. Components, system, window. Here's the window. So let me close that. So I want to make another component called RND window. And it's going to need the ID and the children. Pretty much the same stuff as this, actually. It's not going to be window props, though. It's also going to return a JSX element. It's going to be called RND window props. And I'm just going to explicitly specify these two because for R&D's purposes, we don't need to know that ID is part of the process component props. Only the window is, I'm considering a process component. So I'm not going to go and here because I only need ID. Whereas, yeah, I've explained it enough. There we go. That's a string. And this is a type. There we go. That's going to be that piece there. It's children and ID. And what can I take from here? So maximized is only needed by R&D, so I can actually get rid of that. The maximized piece. Don't need minimized. Here I don't need maximized. Oops. And then this would be called R&D window. And it would just get past the ID. And it returns the R&D with the props just like it was before. And it has the children inside it. Oops, oops. Let me just mangle that 1 second. And this is also R&D window. There we go. So let's take this code and bring it into its own little file. R&D window.ts. And take those pieces. Oops. So we made window a little smaller. And we focused the resize and drag components into one component. Got to import this. No, that's not importing correctly. Let's export this first. Export default R&D window. I had this problem earlier, actually, when I was preparing, and this is like one of the reasons I gave up on preparing, is what is it talking about here? Boolean is not assignable. There's some kind of wonkiness going on here. And it's really not understanding my formatting. Let's see if this causes an error. So first off, we need to import this. It's not auto importing either. It's another weird thing. There we go. So I'm having the same exact issue. This is weird. Can't resolve. Why? It's like saying this is wrong somehow, but I'm very confused how. Let's try to be very basic and just return like nothing. Hello. Okay, so the fact that that's not working is fishy. Boolean is not, so something's wrong with the way I have this code. Interesting that I've made it wrong twice, because I had the same issue last time while I was preparing this. I'm very confused what's wrong here. But it must be obvious. Let me start commenting stuff out. Is it any of this stuff? Or any of this? Maybe it's the way that I've written this somehow. Very interesting. It must be the way I've written this somehow, so good. It can't be that hard. Let's say it takes nothing, not even the children. Did this work? I'm so confused by this. This is weird. What is it? What problem does it have with this? Can't find name hello. Okay, but can't that be a string? Like what? Why is this not working? Is R&D window like some kind of special thing? No, because I used it earlier. It's so confusing that this is occurring again, because I really don't understand how to do anything about it. Maybe we won't let this hang up bother us for now, and let's just keep coding the other pieces of it. And if this doesn't resolve itself, then I'll just go, oh, wait a minute. What is wrong here? I'm so confused. What's wrong? It doesn't look like anything's wrong. Try using divs instead of, yeah, that's a good idea. Fragments, yeah. It's acting weird though. Yeah, it still isn't making a difference. It's just acting weird. Yeah. All right, we'll come back to that later because that piece is, it's not inconsequential, but we'll come back to it later. Let me undo some of these commentings. When was I happy with this? There we go. That was the ideal first part of it. There's another piece I want to add, so maybe as I add more pieces, it'll make sense what went wrong. So let's go back to the code here. So it's similar to this. The piece that I haven't added yet is the, yeah, Sean Brown saying very strange. It is weird. Maybe we'll figure it out by the end. I want to get into the having a window session, but we're not there yet, are we? This piece here is the window. I have extracted that out. Window props. What is this about here? What did I do here? Oh, this is when I got rid of react.js. I've already done that. Let's go into the code here for window and see if I'm done with window. Yeah, I think I've done everything here. This is still not working, but at least everything's extracted. Ideally, this will work. So I just need to fix this. Cannot find module, or it's unable to, very weird. I wonder, yeah, that's buggy, but I don't know if it's VS Code. I'm gonna try closing VS Code and opening it again, just in case, but I don't think that's gonna help, unfortunately. Well, once again, OBS has lost my VS Code. At least it's still working. I've had bad luck with OBS Code, or OBS and doing these opening closings where it just crashes everything. Come on, focus on my code. I'm clicking it. Let me try again here. There we go. 10th time's the charm. So it didn't fix anything, unfortunately, but at least VS Code's back. So let's continue. What was the next thing I wanted to do here? So this is completely done as far as it's changed the way I want. useRnd. We have useRnd, but we don't have the session stuff yet. So let's get into the idea of the session piece. So where am I going to have it? It's going to be in the session context. Use session context state. Here we go. So I just want to add, what is it that I want to add? I'm trying to remember now. What did I write down here? Session state is like it's just an object. Yeah. So it's going to be another state. It's going to be the window states. All of the states are going to be stored in one setting. And set window states. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And it's going to be an empty object. And I'm going to define it. window states. We're going to make a type. And the type is just going to be very simple. Oops, I need a space there. It's going to take in an ID as the key, which is a string of the window name. And it's going to be the window state. Of course, another type here. The window state is going to be the size and the position. So the position, and it can be empty, so I'll just say optional here. Actually, can it be empty? Let's say yes, or wait, it's this that can be, it's the entire thing that's optional, honestly. Can you do this? I want to say that this is optional. Is that a thing, what I just did there? Did it accept that? I don't like it though. No. Let's just say it's optional. Optional position and optional size. Actually, let's not say it's optional because I can't remember why I have it written as optional, but I'm sure it'll make sense in a second. Import those. Nice, it imported those without a hassle. Oh, it didn't do this quite right. It's supposed to be hooks. Why'd you do that? We'll do our auto fixes where we add type to fit with our ESLint rules and possibly some reorganizing, it looks like. Yep, there we go. Great, so now we want to export these as well. I'm going to re-alphabetize this too. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. There we go. That's the alphabetical way to do it. And in the session context here, we have to, we have to add them right here. It's right there. Maybe we should have this below that because we need to use these. We need to reference these. So I'm also going to do the alphabetizing here. That's correct. And then this one needs to be set window state. And if we hover over it, it's the same kind of idea. A dispatch of the window state. We need to add the React dot pieces here. There we go. And the window state. Oh, I'll just copy it. And it is the window states. Nice. So now our session also has this thing called window states, which is an object that you can set. And it has the ID of the window, the process. And it stores the window state, which is the position element object and the size object. So now that we have those, if we go back to the code here, so that was all that was, other than the fact that it's optional, but we'll see if we need that. Maybe we will. We also need to set the initial stuff now that we updated it. So the initial values we need to have. There we go, it's complaining. So let's also alphabetize this as long as we're doing them. And I'm just going to copy them from here. It's the same exact thing of a function that returns undefined as its initial state and the window state that is empty. There we go, we got our initials. I almost wonder if I should just save that too. Maybe I'll just save that. What have I changed so far? Just this piece. Yeah, let's just do this piece here because I added window states to session context. And we'll update our notes that I've done that. That's in session here. Added window states to session context. And now we need to use it, which is the piece that I was having trouble with still. So let's go back to the code that we've done. That's the useRnd hook, and this is the RND window hook. Those are the only two I need, basically. I need the RND window hook to to set the session when it closes. So let's do that. So we're gonna get set session. Let's go into the, what one was this? This is the RND window, which we've already kind of partly made. So before the props or after them? After the props, let's say. We want to pull this out here. So we do use session to get the session context, and we get the set window states. And now what we want to do is when the RND window closes, we want to set the size. Not while it's working, only after. So we're going to do a use effect. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do the cleanup part of it. So we only care about cleaning up the effect. And what we want is, that's when we do the set window state. So we set window state. We're going to take the current window states, plural, and we're going to make a new object. And it's going to be the current window states plus the ID, which we have, yes, the ID of the process. And in that, we're going to put the new elements, or the new position, and the new size. And where are we going to get those from? Now this is tricky. This is where I had some trouble before, is I was grabbing them from here. But then if you're going to use those in the use effect, then every time they change, you need to update them in the dependency array. Or you need to add them to the dependency array so that every time it updates. And then what I was having happen is every time I moved the size, I was getting this like constant effect where it was like that changes, so it rereads this, and changes, it rereads this, you know, and it was just like an insane loop. But the easiest way that I found to resolve it actually was that I can get that information from the element, from the R&D element itself. So all I really need is a reference to the element, and then when I do the destroy event, I just grab, I look at the element and I go, okay, where is it? What size is it? And I just use that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a reference. R&D ref equals useRef. And what it can be the R&D object, or it can be null. And I didn't mean to do it in the brackets there. I was defining the type there. There we go. It starts as null, which is typical for these referencing elements. I typically do it that way. So the R&D ref, we'll just say here ref, and we can use ref on R&D. Cool, so we got that. And what was the next piece here? So we set that, right, now we need to use the R&D ref. So we'll go R&D ref, and I think it's dot current to get the current object, dot, I believe it's props. Yeah, props. And this is something I can reference from react.rnd. And if you look at the element here, they have a props element. The props here has size and position. Dot props. I'm trying to see where else you can see that they have props. I mean, you have to kind of play with it to figure that out, but I figured out that props is accessible from within the element. And from there, you just do the dot size, I believe, dot position, sorry, dot. And there we go. It even knows that it's there. So, and it's the same for size. Now I've done the code here, but the reason I did it here first is let's save this and see if this works. Okay, at least it reordered the positioning. So if I hover over here, you see an issue that it tells me about is I didn't spell position correctly. That's valid. Where did I spell position wrong? Somewhere. Where was it saying I spelled position incorrectly? Oh, maybe when I made the session type? I think I must have done it wrong there. Because that looked wrong. Oh yeah, positon. That's cool. Position. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, there was no reason for it to complain about that, but I had that wrong. I'll just fix it here. I'm not going to do another commit for that. Anyways, I fixed that piece. So if I hover over this, what is it saying now? Oh yeah, so it's possible that this might be undefined. So it's saying, hey, you should expect this to be undefined. So that's why I had undefined earlier for those two. So let's also put these as that they can be undefined. There we go. Now it's a little less complaining. So now here's something else I noticed. Is it saying here that object is possibly null? No, that's not what I cared about. Okay, well, we'll fix, this is easy enough to fix using the null check operator here. It's not what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but we'll just add these everywhere, pepper those around to have it be a little more safe there. There we go. I was expecting another error here because I found last time when I did it this way, it was complaining that it said like get current here because the reference will be stale, but it's not saying that now. So let's just do it like this then. I would rather do it like this. Optional chaining. Thank you, Sean Brown. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. So I'm doing optional chaining here so to stop complaining about that null error. But yeah, let's leave this like this for now. But if you've seen my code here, I had done it here outside of the destructing here because it was complaining Maybe if I set the dependencies, it'll also complain again. Let's try that, because we do need some dependencies. Why is it not complaining about that either? What's the use processes problem here? Cannot find? Oh, I thought I was importing that. That's weird. Okay. There's a few things it's not complaining about right now that I would have expected it to. Maybe it's related to this. Let's comment this out for a second. Okay. Now RD props isn't needed. Okay. Now maximized is not used. Yeah. Interesting. It's not giving me the errors I would have expected, which I guess is good. I mean, this error is not good, so that's bothering the hell out of me. Is missing the following type element. Is it the way that I'm doing this props return, or I'm trying to understand what it's related to? Well, last time I did this. Let's try this. I think I understand the problem now. I think this is just silly what I'm doing maybe. Let's try this. Because at one point I had it like that. I also had size being exported. This makes no difference though. It's just buggy. Yeah, something else is going on. I still haven't figured this out. It's not a TypeScript error either. It's like a I can't build error. It's talking about the module not being found in regards to R&D window. I wonder if this file is like something's buggy with the file, maybe. Type is missing the following properties from element props key. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but I don't want to dig into that rabbit hole until I figure out why it was giving me that. Why is this even happening, you know? Is this not where this is? Let's see here, component system taskbar. Why is this in taskbar? Oh, maybe this is part of my problem, big time. I mean, partly. Let's move this to window. That fixes one thing, hopefully. Does that fix this? Let me close this. Okay, now what's the issue? Parse errors in imported module. And now it's complaining again about the arrow. Why does it hate the arrow? That's weird. Let's just see if we've captured the goal of the code here so far. So now on destroy, yeah, so this is use effect, and then it returns the function that sets these elements. So ID is absolutely necessary as a dependency, but it's not complaining about that. So something's wrong with the code because it should be complaining more. Same with set window states. It should be complaining about that too, but ESLint is having a heck of a time understanding this for some reason. Let me try renaming this just to make sure it's not a file name issue for some no sensible reason, but let's just try. Let's call it R&D Windows. And we'll call this R&D, oh, it already renamed that. I mean, good, it didn't make a difference. I would be disappointed if it had, but I'm disappointed that it's broken too, so there's lots of disappointment to go around here. Let's just save that for now. Yeah, I still haven't figured this part out, but let's add these to the dependencies. Let's not even worry about the fact that it's broken. Let's just fix this because we know useEffect is requiring ID and it's using set window state. So let's just say, hey, it depends on these two things. But I like it to warn me about that. Honestly, I like it to warn me, so let's just leave that there. We need to fix the fact that it's not warning because that's the big part of ESLint. As far as the code though, I've done it all. One thing that I had before with the code was I had position and size because like I said, at one point I was trying to save it here. And then I'm just passing it here, but I don't need those. I could just keep those in R&D props and just have everything that comes back from here dumped in there. Let's move on to the next piece, which is updating useRnd. Because if I give useRnd an ID also, then it can grab the previous position and size and pass those to useDraggable and useResizable. So let's just go and do that. useRnd. So like I said, I want to get ID as well. It's a string. That looks good like that. I'm just going to take a peek at the code too, so I have it as reference. So basically I need to do the use session again. Equals use session. And the difference is I want to get that position and I want to get that size. Now we're already using the keywords position and size, so I'm just going to paste what I did. I take position and size. Oh wait, I need to take those from the window state. Yeah. Let me extract the window state here. So window states. And from there, I want just the specific window state for my ID. And I'm going to call that the window state. There we go. And then here is where I do this, where I extract that from the window state. Or I use empty if it's undefined still. There we go, save that. I got to import use session. So there we go. So from use session, I grab those window states that I've set, and then I get the specific one to my ID, which I set as, call it window state. And then I further destruct that out into position and size, which I call previous position and previous size. And then all I have to do here is just pass them here. Remember, useDraggable already can take in position. So I say previous position there, and useSize can take in previous size. So there we go. So I think that was literally all that I had to do to load that. So that gets the history of session. So now we're just stuck on this again. And it's, yeah, like looking at this, at the code here, there was nothing else to change. It was just as simple as that. I got position first. I don't know if that matters. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I don't know if I want to tweak that is what I'm saying. That's a minor one, but that's one little thing I can change. Yeah, let's do position first, alphabetically speaking. That fits nice there. Position, size on, yeah. Okay, so useRnd is good. The session stuff's still good. So as far as this, I don't know. I don't know how to debug this one, guys. Let's go back at the code one more time and just peek it. I wonder if it's something obvious. Sometimes if you just throw a bunch of code out that you think worked, then you miss something so obvious. But it's odd that all this other stuff seemed to work. Let's try to do this then. Let's just make the most simple, let's just make a function that works, right? No children, doesn't take any children. And hell, even the return, I'm just gonna have it be straight, just get straight to it. Hey, that looks correct at least. Oh, it looked correct for a second, the coloring. Let's go back to the divs here. Something very wonky there, because I'm pretty sure this should be working. Yeah, it just doesn't work. That's weird. I wonder, an ESLint will complain, the build thing will complain. Yeah, if I look here, it's gonna say that it's got issues with the module. Unable to resolve path. Wait, why is it complaining about that now? That was earlier. Component system window RND. That's in the right place now. Well, it's unfortunate that it's being buggy because I wanted to show you guys it's saving the state. Luckily, we've made a lot of progress before we've hit this wall. But I don't understand at all why it's doing this. What if we try... Yeah, that literally makes no sense to me. It's hard to even fathom, honestly. What is wrong with this? What if I make another component? I'm gonna, in the window folder, I'm gonna make something called test.ts. Const test, functional component. And can I make it the same? Watch this work. No, it's still complaining. Where's the assumption that I'm just dead wrong on is what's frustrating me. Oh, it's so obvious. I'm such a bozo. So it's so simple. RND window.ts. That should be tsx. So simple. So that should just fix it, honestly. Yeah, now it's happy. And now it's complaining about the right stuff. Oh, so something so minor, hey? So I just had the file name wrong and it was making all the parsing incorrect because it's like, this isn't JSX, what's going on here? So Hopefully I'll remember next time. If the JSX looks bad, maybe the file name is just wrong. So here we go. So now it's complaining that it's missing ID and set window state. So that's correct. That's what I wanted to fix here. And now if I save that, okay, cool. Interesting. Last time, I swear ESLint told me that I shouldn't do this. It was like, I wonder, what if I get rid of the optional chaining again? Does it tell me now? Because it was having issues before. Let's try this now. What is the error I get? Oops. If I hover over here, no, it's just complaining about the null thing. Other than that, it's okay. All right, well, let's keep our optional chaining and just keep it like this because I like this. So let's just see if this works. So why is it complaining about this still? What if I delete this and just try to import it old-fashioned? One thing at a time here, one thing at a time. Why is R&D window not working now? Oh, now it is. Okay. So let's kill this build after all this mess that's happened. And let's try again. And we're gonna review these changes, but they're less complicated than it looks. I think I made it more complicated. Okay, so the page loads. So let's open a window. Nice, it didn't explode. So we move the window, let's center it here. Let's make it a little bigger. Make it like that. Now we close that, and now let's open it. What happened, right? What happened? Is there anything in the console? No. Interesting. Interesting. How could I be so wrong with it? What's going on? Okay. Well, let's review, right? That's the next thing. I mean, let's debug the code that I thought would work. So what did we do with window? So window we made a lot smaller. We got rid of the R&D piece and we made a component called R&D window. We didn't make it a lot smaller actually, but we got rid of all the R&D stuff and we've moved that into one specific place. That still partially works because I'm still able to drag and resize. So that part's cool. So the R&D window part, that's big. Oh, I got test here still. Let's get rid of test. Not that that has any relevance to anything. What did I do to use R&D? Okay, use R&D I've changed too. What have I got here? So I've got, let's do a console log here on useRnd because maybe I'm just not, maybe I'm saving correctly, but I'm not using it properly because of some subtle mistake I made or glaringly obvious. We'll see. So console log and we'll log the window state. And then let's see there. So if I move it and I make it bigger, it did positionally adjust. I'm just looking at the console log output. Size didn't update properly, which is odd. Oh, I guess because I haven't saved it yet. Let me close, open again. Oh, they were both undefined. Interesting. Oh, okay, so maybe this is that error that I didn't run into this time for some reason. So we'll go back to the R&D window. So it was here, basically. Basically, the R&D ref current, by the time it runs this destruction function, this is gone. So you need to do it one step earlier. Interesting that it didn't give me the error this time because the error was super helpful last time, honestly. So this piece was like this, and then basically, yeah, so here is where I need to grab the reference to the object here. What I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna just say current equals R&D ref. And R&D ref could be, R&D ref won't be undefined. Current could be undefined. So let me check in the code. Did I do anything similar there? Okay, why am I thinking, oh yeah, R&D ref can be null, true. As I stated here, it can be null. So let's say if R&D ref is null, just use an empty object. I don't think that would occur, but maybe it would. And now I just do current, basically the same, but just without the R&D ref piece. I think that'll fix it. I think that the reference was like stale here, whereas here it's not. Here you can kind of capture it and then use it here. So I don't know why I didn't get that error this time. That's unfortunate, but it's lucky for me that I know that already. So assuming this works. So we save, we refresh, now let's try. So we got the window, we drag it, we resize it, we close, and then we open. Yes, it's in the same position. So there we go. So now we can do like the mini one. Let's do a small one, put it in the corner here, close that, open it. There we go, it's still the same. Make it like that, nice. So if we refresh though, it's gonna go back because we don't have a session yet. We don't have it saving that to local storage, but within the state, it can now save it. So that's progress. Nice. And Sean Brown says, awesome. Thank you, sir. So let's take a review of what we did here. So like I said, we moved the R&D window to its own component. We've kind of consolidated all the R&D logic here and added this destruction setting of the state, which is working now. It's based on the element. We don't need the console log anymore. We now read the state when we first do useRnd, so we get the previous position and previous size, which for at the moment seems fine. Maybe we'll run into some bugs in the future. I don't know. And I made these optional because it's possible that could be undefined, I believe. So anyways, that's good. I think we're done on that. So now we have storing window size / position between, no, not between refreshes. Storing windows size / position in state, in active state, I'll say. There we go. Nice. And that is the other piece to the session. Oh, that was a lot of changes we did. 2 hours, 40 minutes of changes. So I think, I don't think we have to review too much because we kind of reviewed as we went. We can look at the commits again. So we did this stuff here. So now at this point, we've done everything that I did during the week. We've kind of itemized it all. Now, I'm sorry this time I didn't do it as organized. Sometimes I have the show notes very organized and all these little things I've already done. And I review what I did and then I kind of consolidate it for you guys. But as you can see, it was big this time. So thanks for going through it with me. And it looks like quite a few people stayed. So that was cool. And thanks to whoever sees it in the distant future, you know. So let's, without further ado, let's go back to me and let's discuss what we'll do next stream. So what do I want to do? I've taken some time this week as well to kind of capture how the animation works for the windows as far as minimize, maximize, open, close. And I'd like to do that. So I'm hoping we can get into some of the framer motion stuff and into those animations. That would be cool. I might also do a little more detail work, some styling that we might tweak. I'm not ready for the start menu necessarily yet, but maybe. We'll see. That's the next big one, honestly. I mean, after that, then we can start making apps. I want the OS part to be like decent before we start making apps, so that then we can just start focusing on the apps. You know, right now we're focused on the OS, then it'll be the apps. That's my thinking on it. I'll quickly jump back to the code here just to go to the README for a sec and just show you all the stuff we got planned here. I mean, I've discussed this last episode, so I'll just quickly talk about it. Like, I want to do session stuff. We're going to have, like, we just did a little bit of it now, but I'm still going to leave it here as a note because I don't have it's not really in the session. It's like the state now, the active state. But the session that I want is when you refresh, you leave, you come back. I want it to remember stuff, just like Windows does. Same with icon position, startup apps, whether it's maximized. We need a start menu, like I said. We want the animations. The opening position, I'll get to that at some point. Currently, it's just 0, 0 right at the corner. Task view, I don't know when I'll get to that. That's like that effect where like you have all the windows and then they kind of all pop out so you can see them all. That's tricky though, but it's not so hard. The focus stuff, like I told you guys at the start, I want to get into more. Being able to maintain aspect ratio for DOS. You guys can review this and maybe talk about adding some stuff in the near future. But yeah, I've got just so many plans that we're going to get into, and we're kind of getting through them slowly, you know. We got through a lot of stuff today, so I didn't make my recap notes. I'll make them later. I'm not even going to make any recap notes. I did an episode recap. So, and then yeah, for next stream, what I say I want to talk about animations, window close. Let's just say window animations, and what else would be cool? I don't want to promise start menu, but maybe I should. You know, maybe it's time. Maybe let's do it. Start menu. Let's say. There we go. It's there now. Now I've written it down. So back to me just for the end, I guess, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. 2 hours 45 minutes. It looks like roughly. Looks like I had at the peak I had 5 viewers. So that's cool. and hopefully some people will check it out after the fact. If you like my videos, please throw me a like. Subscribe to see more of my content. I put one of these out every week, and if you subscribe, I much appreciated, because then I know I've got people interested in all this stuff, which is cool. Other than that, I think we're good for this week. So thank you guys for another one, and see you in episode 14. So bye.